Lumbo. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a change from last year's Insanity. I don't think I've heard that fucking Knockin' Boots song in the last year, and it's been great. Just because the sad thing is I grew to like the song. And
What Knockin' Boots song?
the whole notes need taking notes is based on a Luke Bryan song called Knockin' Boots. Boots need knockin' boots. Yeah, it is as dumb as you think it could possibly be. You could always torture yourself and go down the rabbit hole and find the song. But no, I had to hear that song every fucking day, 3 times a day, all summer long last year. I couldn't do a fucking thing about it. Stockholm Syndrome, I grew to like it. That and Miranda fucking Lambert.
Kind of a nice thing about my job is when I am alone, I get to choose the music I want.
You know what? I'm not doing too bad on that one either, really, because the guy next to me, the Jeremiah that I was talking about, he's pretty open to suggestion. I managed to turn him on to some good stuff. A little Pentagram here, some Derek and the Dominoes there, Runaways for good measure.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, and I also came to find out that he is not, in fact, a kid as much as I thought he was. He's 31. I thought he was fucking 21.
That just means you're old.
I know I'm old. And he didn't believe I was 41.
Once you start thinking everybody's a kid, you're old.
Yeah, and they're all kids.
They're all kids.
Because we're old.
Because we're old.
Yes, we are. And that's cool. That's cool. So, we're ready to counter in?
Yeah.
All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Chadwick Von Tippitt and Joshua Ford in the Hardaway Johnson. This is our 4th of July episode.
America.
We're so close to the 4th.
Yes, we are. We're, what, 2 days away?
2 days away.
Something like that. Well, and how much more American can you get than this? Drinking a Budweiser tall, and you'll find out why that's significant here in a little bit, because our topic of discussion is what, Chadwick?
Crappy movies that are funny.
The Stoned Age.
The Stoned Age, that's right.
Yes, and...
I'm just marveling at my Coors Light can.
Why?
They're
because
always,
of the
they're
blue
always,
glasses or whatever.
They're always different. This one has the glasses. It says chill. If it's blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. But guess what? It's not.
No,
it's
because
not
it's
that cold.
like fucking 90 degrees out. And this is one of the cool days.
I haven't had beer in a really long time, and I can taste the sugar in it.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah, it is really weird.
I haven't had a Budweiser in months.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I dig the talls.
You got to have talls, man. Absolutely. And that's why we're having the tall... I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. This is about as good as your Guns N' Roses intro. Do you remember that one?
No.
No, that one was great. 5, 4, 3, 2. What's everybody?
What's everybody?
What's everybody?
What's everybody?
Yeah, that was a good one. Jack Daniels totally fucked up for that one. But no.
Shouldn't have pre-gamed that hard.
I don't think we even really meant to. It just sort of happened.
It was the Duff. It snuck up on you.
It was the Duff, the cranberry and vodka. But no, tonight we're going to be discussing the movie The Stoned Age. And anybody listening to this, unless you're my brother or whoever, is probably scratching their head going, what the hell are you talking about? So, Chad, you're the guy that likes to read copious notes as opposed to taking copious notes. What can you tell the listeners about The Stoned Age?
Okay, so this movie came out slightly before Dazed and Confused.
Would that have been 93, 94?
95?
Dazed and Confused, I thought, came out in 94.
So we're somewhere
mid-90s.
94, 95-ish.
Right before Dazed and Confused, which, if you're listening to this, you know damn well what Dazed and Confused is.
Everybody loves Dazed and Confused, and I honestly, I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
You know what? The damn thing is, I've seen that movie all the way through so many fucking times, I literally cannot watch it anymore.
We might have to do it one more time.
I could recite. I don't even need to. I can recite the entire damn movie.
Yeah.
I burned myself out on it. It's all my fault.
So these are two similar movies. You got,
the basic plot is
dudes looking to score and drink on a weekend.
Teenage dudes on the weekend in the 70s.
The soundtrack seems like the 70s.
And that's the
it's
perfect.
Very weird. And it's weird because what year are we supposed to be in
I
this
am
movie?
so glad you brought that up because that's a perfect way to begin this whole thing. They never state what year, and the movie was done so poorly that there are continuity errors all over the place. From like the first scene where the hitchhiker is walking down the road, and like an 87 Chevy Caprice goes by,
Yeah.
a 93 Ford Probe, and then a fucking 67 Chevelle.
Right, and then like a 60s pickup truck picks them up or whatever it was.
Yeah, my assumption is,
I mean, I would probably guess late 70s.
my guess is 79, and I single out 79 because, number one, it was literally the last year of the 70s that could have been used, and one of the plot points in there is one of the characters doesn't want to go out because he wants to stay home on Friday night and watch the Dukes of Hazzard because it's his favorite show. Dukes of Hazzard did not come out until 1979. That's how I pinpointed that.
Yeah, that's good. Good one.
Thank you. But yeah, so these teenage burnouts in the 70s scoring, looking at, what was it? Power, Glory, and Fine Chicks.
Yeah.
Was the intro line. Yep. And that's exactly what it is.
Fine chicks.
Fine Chicks.
You know, okay, so that's absurd.
It's an interesting word. Why is that
It's
absurd?
so absurd. Like watching this movie, I was a teenager, no doubt. I'm getting old, so I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, were we really this obnoxious?
Yes.
Were we really like, we're looking for fine chicks, man?
Yes. Yes, we were. We just didn't realize it because we were living it.
I remember Bitches and 40s night.
Bitches and 40s.
Yeah.
I didn't have a Bitches and 40s night. I'm assuming hunt for bitches, inevitably find none of them, and then spend your night ending it with a 40-ouncer. That about right?
Begin, end, middle, whatever. Bitches and 40s night.
Bitches and 40s. No, we called it cruising when I was a teenager, which basically meant go from the town I lived just outside of, with a population of I think 700 people, to the bigger town with a population of I think 2,000 people, and literally drive around town all fucking night.
Around the lake?
Not even around the lake. There was no lake in Britt.
Oh, you made it to Britt. You didn't go to Clear Lake?
No, I didn't even go that far. I just went to fucking Britt for the most part.
Oh, I've never cruised in Britt. But
There's nothing to cruise, but
Mason.
somehow we did it every fucking night.
in Mason, we have the loop.
Yeah, it was.
The loop.
Britt had a very microscopic loop, I guess, that would inevitably end at the gravel pits, where the token 21-year-old would buy beer for all of us fucking idiots. Which,
Don't do that.
don't do that. And
Don't do that.
no, and especially when you turn 21, don't be that guy. But it can sneak up on you before you know it. Pretty soon you're buying your little brother beer, and it's not a big deal because it's your little brother. Well, his friends, they're fine. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Not fun at all. But yeah, so.
I used to make that joke when I went back to college because I was like 30.
Oh, when you were threatening that you were not going to buy them beer.
I never did.
This is
I've been
good.
asked, and I said, no, get it yourself.
Did you just show them the picture on the ID and they got the message?
No.
I think you probably could have. Hey, will you buy us beer? Oh, sorry, Chadwick, Tippitt. Yes, sorry.
No, I'm not going to buy you beer. It's part of your college experience to score your own beer, fucker.
Yes, it is, and oh my God, the work you'd go into just trying to get beer, which they do in this movie to a degree. Only they break into a warehouse.
They do. That's it's so weird because I never really had any problems scoring liquor.
I didn't either, which blows my mind. But then again, if you think about where I would go to do that, the trailer park, the rundown end of town. Fucking, yeah, these old guys would buy us fucking beer. It was very bizarre.
Very rarely did I have someone buy me beer. I was able to do it myself.
I don't know. When did you really start drinking, though, Chad?
Like 10th grade.
Okay, yeah, that's about right. That's when I really.
Well,
kind
I
of
mean,
dove headlong
you know,
into it, I guess.
you had some before then. But.
Sure, but anyway, we should get back to the movie.
Well, it ties in.
It kind of does, but anyway, so yeah,
Like you said, the lengths they'll go through to get liquor. What the hell was
Right.
that? What was that? The green shit that they were drinking.
Oh, Annie Green Springs? No, Schnapster. Peppermint Schnapps.
Schnapster.
Yes. Fucking ding. But yeah, fuck. But yeah, and that it just brings up another interesting point about this movie. There's a very loose plot to it. It's real easy to get lost.
Yeah, it is.
In every other crevice of the movie.
It is a very loose plot.
And it is pretty well stated at the beginning. A long time ago, in a land called Suburbia, there lived a noble breed of men who embarked on a endless search for power, glory, and fine chicks. That was how they set the movie up.
Right.
And
Well, it's called The Stoned Age, and like I don't feel like it should have even been called that.
no, because there really was not a lot of pot smoked in that movie.
Not really.
Now that I think about it. Only just that skank weed.
That was lumbo.
No, they said it was lumbo. It turned out to be skank weed.
Oh, right.
Hey, you still got the lumbo. About half a joint's worth. But this shit gives me a headache. It's skank weed. And you remember the token hot chick got mad because he loaded up that fucking beer can pipe. And all she did was smell it's fucking skank weed. Yeah, fucking got a beer can pipe. You ever made one of those?
Nope. Not out of a beer can.
Oh, you're missing out.
I don't think I am.
Okay, you're right. You're not missing out on a damn thing. But, oh, my God, why has it come to this?
All right, here we go. So, you know I have that van, right?
Oh, yes.
So I have a 65 Chevy van that's been in my life since I was probably 13.
We made love in my Chevy van, and that's all right with me.
So, one time, me and a couple of buddies got high in the back of it, and we made a gravity bong.
Gravity bong?
Yep, we took a 5-gallon bucket of water.
Okay.
And a 20-ounce bottle, like pop bottle,
Yeah.
with just the bottom part cut off.
Okay.
And I drilled a hole in the cap, and then I took the air chuck to air up tires. Not the long one, like the little short ones. You know what I mean? And I took all the insides out so you could pack it with a screen and put your weed in there.
You put your weed in there.
Put your weed in there.
Really?
Yeah, so you light it, and then you dunk this bottle in water.
Oh, yes, okay. I've
when you
used that.
So when you pull it up, it draws, smoke into the bottle. Then you take the cap off, and then you push it back down into the water, and it pushes all the smoke.
Yep. I have used the gravity bong. Okay.
Oh, we got real ripped.
Yes, those things you're not messing around when you hit a fucking gravity bong. I forgot all about that experience in life, but yes, I have. Obviously couldn't tell you when or where. I probably fried a few brain cells just off one hit, but yeah, I've utilized the gravity bong. Now I want to know who the hell made it.
Stoners?
No, I mean, just in the one instance I did it, because I certainly wasn't intelligent enough or resourceful enough to come up with that.
Yeah, so that's about as close to a crushed up beer can or whatever smoking weed out of I've come to.
And
everything else has been in like a glass bong or like a brass pipe or something nice like that.
And even in that respect, you're still the type of guy who will wake up and build a birdhouse for something to do. To think to make a gravity bong as opposed to just taking a beer can. That's how your mind works, and that's amazing. I don't think I could have the wherewithal to go through that kind of effort.
Well, I wanted a smooth smoke, so...
And see, you had a goal, and you didn't compromise your vision. That's what I'm talking about.
Because the other guys are dumb. I'm not dumb. So I was like, we're going to smoke this. We're not going to waste it either.
I like the way you think. Now, back to the Stone Age. Have we even gotten past scene 1 where the guy's hitchhiking down the...
Not really.
No, we've gotten lost.
We got lost because there's no plots.
Exactly.
So this dude's hitchhiking. You see some dude is hitchhiking.
And don't forget he's wearing a vest that says Reaper on it.
Right.
Which Reaper will factor into the movie in a little bit.
So obviously, whatever. Well, what I didn't understand is, he's hitchhiking, but like somebody stopped and then was like, sorry, I got lost.
What?
Yeah, that dude driving the truck.
Oh, right. He hits the brakes and the guy gets pissed. Like, sorry, I didn't see you there. Yeah, he gets pissed off at him for that.
Yeah, like
because that's what a hard ass he is.
Like he knew already who he was.
Yeah,
I seemed confused by that.
No, he knew the kid, the dreadlocked kid or whatever.
Knew him. Knew the dude hitchhiking.
Yep, and that's why as soon as he sped past, and the guy yells, "Hey!" and then.
See, I thought he was just expecting him to show up or something.
No, he knew him.
Yeah,
Crump's brother.
Yeah,
never find out his name, but it's Crump's brother.
Right.
Crump being, as we'll find out later in the movie, a skinny little gas station clerk.
Yeah.
Who was probably pretty happy to have a big brother like that and equally terrified of him.
I didn't think the guy was so tough, but...
Now, within that context, though, he totally was, though.
Oh, sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But if that fucking guy acted tough around me, I would have headbutted him.
See, and that's how you would work, though. If the guy acted tough around me, I'd probably just go along with it. I'm significantly skinnier than you, Chad.
Yeah.
I think I'm a few inches shorter while we're at it. Yeah, I could see you having a reaction to that. And me, I would probably react like the poor dreadlock kid did. Hey, man, I didn't see you. Look, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. Sorry. Just move your ass. Yes, sir. So what are you doing? Just cruising. And yeah, that's the only explanation the guy has. I think you come to find out later. Oh no, I gotta go see my asshole parole officer.
Oh, yeah, because evidently you just got out of lockup for beating up that
The Samoan guy.
the Samoan guy. Now let's have a conversation about what a Samoan look like. Because that dude, they're like, hey, there's that Samoan guy Crump's brother beat up.
Yeah, he's all but in traction.
Not a Samoan at all.
You didn't think so?
When I think Samoan, I think of like The Rock.
Oh, I see.
You know, like the big bronzy guys.
Now you mentioned that guy wasn't all that big.
No.
But the guy who had the pool later in the movie was. Remember him when they busted into the guy's pool or whatever? And he comes out with a baseball bat and an afro the size of me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I could buy as a Samoan guy. But I think it was his brother. But anyway, yeah, so scared dreadlock guy picks up the badass Reaper hitchhiker, and he gets his life story out of him about how he had to go see his asshole parole officer, and then something about 2 chicks that he spotted down by the Frankie Avalon place.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, no shit. No shit. And that's how the whole crew gets news that there are a couple of fine-looking chicks down at Torrance Beach.
Where are they at?
Somewhere close to Torrance. They never say where they are at. They just said that they're close to Torrance Beach.
Right.
Which was, I can't remember how far away.
I always want, like, because...
But they needed a ride there, so far
Right.
enough.
Yeah, far. I got half a tank of gas.
$5 worth of dinosaur juice. No, $5 in a pack of Reds. Which means that cigarettes would have been $1 at that time. I don't think they thought that one through either. Because you remember in Dazed and Confused when the kid goes to the gas station to buy beer or whatever, you could see the cigarette prices in the window. They were like 59 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know that cigarettes got that jacked up in 4 years, but... Huh, I never thought about that.
It's possible.
I never thought about
Depends
that
on, it depends on what state you're in, too.
Dude, I never thought about that till literally just now. I might have to explore that, but no. Dazed and Confused was Texas.
That I didn't know.
Yep, I think because Aerosmith was going to play in Houston.
Okay. So
Maybe they were in Oklahoma.
So they're somewhere in like Southern California, or mid to Southern California.
Where are you talking about the Stone Age?
The
guys?
Stone Age.
Yep, absolutely. I can't remember where Torrance Beach is though. Damn it. But I think they saw BOC at Long Beach, so maybe around sort of that general area. I don't know California well enough.
I don't either.
Which you'd think I would by now. You think anybody would by now. But no, actually, I'll tell you how little I know about California. The wildfires raging over there, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I was talking to my San Diego friend. And I said, well, how you doing? She says, well, everything's copacetic. So I texted back, what, with your state burning? And she texted back, those aren't anywhere near me. I thought about that. Like, if southern Iowa was burning, how concerned do you think we would be in northern Iowa about it?
I don't know, fairly. We're in kind of a smallish state.
That's exactly right. California is much bigger than Iowa.
Right.
So for a part of the state to be on fire to not affect somebody in another part of the state, that's how much bigger it is.
Right.
And that's how little I knew about California, I guess.
That's how little of thought I put into knowing about California, I suppose.
That's another interesting point. Like I always wanted to learn more about California just because all the bands came from out of there or whatever.
Like the Bay Area or like the L.A.?
The Bay Area, L.A., Long Beach in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the LBC. That's where a lot of the ska and Snoop Dogg, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
So much drama in the LBC. And I think Sublime referenced that as well. In fact, I know they did. So, yeah, based on that, I always wanted to learn more and more about the state itself. And it occurs to me I didn't learn that much.
Well, son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. All that time wasted. Could have been making gravity bongs. But, all right, so
then like it's just like so the it's really strange, this movie, because you, like you said, you get lost. You got this group of guys, right?
Right.
And then you got now they've heard about these fine chicks.
Yes, they have.
And then that one dude, what's his name?
Tack. Fucking Tack. One of these central characters in this fucking mishmash of
Yeah,
characters.
group of guys.
Oh God.
I don't know why they chose this guy.
But this is, now that we bring
Because
it up
up until you're like probably 15 minutes into the movie, and suddenly now we have Tack, who is like a central character.
Yes. So set it up for the people that don't know. So after Dread Guy picks up Hitchhiker Guy, apparently he drops him off because it cuts to the next scene of this guy standing in front of this group of 20 teenagers or whatever.
They've got to be at least 18, 17 or 18.
Yep.
Because aren't they still in school?
Yes.
So they got to be like 17, 18
Yep.
maybe.
Which, fun fact about that, I doubt any of those actors were even remotely that age. And I say that because one of the crew of people is a guy was played by a guy named Stevie Rochelle. Now, Stevie Rochelle is a singer in an late 80s glam LA band called Tuff, Tuff. Tough. And I couldn't tell you really much more about that band, but they were like one of the last wave that got signed, and 5 minutes later everyone forgot about. Had a video on MTV. But their singer wound up anonymously for, I think, like the first 5 years or so, or maybe it was only 2 years, opened a website called Metal Sludge. That, in my opinion, completely wiped out any semblance of getting away with it in the music industry. This website, it was a gossip site. It was like TMZ for metal or whatever the hell. They had a penis chart on that site. In fact, that penis chart made the VH1's 100 Most Metal Moments. The penis chart made number 8 on that list. Because it was all this detailed information about every rock star on the planet. Or every one of the metal guys, and a lot of it was fucking embarrassing. Yeah, he ran that website anonymously for, I think, like 2 years before he finally came out and said, yeah, I'm the guy running Metal Sludge, you know? And it turns out...
That is a good fun fact, because I don't even think that's mentioned on IMDb or anything.
No, and it damn well should. I was a sludgeaholic. I ordered t-shirts from them, for crying out loud.
I remember.
Yeah,
I
and
remember Metal Sludge t-shirts.
It used to be the big thing was get a picture taken with a rock star wearing your Metal Sludge shirt. And the only person I could think of that got pissed about it was Sebastian Bach. Like, fucking yelling at people in the crowd if they were wearing a Metal Sludge shirt. They pissed him off so bad.
He must have a tiny dick.
No, that's the weird thing. That's the weird thing is, according to that chart, he's fucking hung. And he's damn good at what he does. They just pointed out when he got pissed off about his limo being stranded on the highway or something, and they invented like different awards for him. The Beyond a Fucking Bitch Award, the FU Award, the Sebastian Bach FU Award for other people's behavior.
Oh.
He became like an inadvertent poster child for the website because he couldn't ignore them. But I mean, they were rough on him though, but they were rough on everybody. But anyway, yeah, Stevie Rochelle, the guy who sang for Tuff in the 88 or 89, wound up blowing up the entire fucking metal community, if you ask me. I mean, the way the one guy put it on that 100 Most Metal Moments when he was asked about it, he said, you know, it used to be you'd get a chick's phone number or whatever, but now it's like you ask a chick for her email address, and if she gives you one, you run the other way. So basically, it's like, okay, she's connected to the internet. She's going to tell everybody everything about you.
Kind of like Dave Ellefson.
Oh my God, yes. Let's veer for a moment and talk about him because I've wanted to ever since I heard about it.
Man.
What was that, last month?
Something like that.
Dude, this year's so screwy. That could have been last year or it could have been 2 days ago. But no, David Ellefson.
Well,
set it up,
I
Joe.
think, well, the news came out maybe last month or the month before.
Okay. But yeah, Dave Ellefson.
You know, you should know better by now.
You would think. You would think. That was my first thought. Not so much, what a pervert or, God, that's creepy. More, it was just, why are you risking this?
Well, first of all, let's just say they were both consensual adults.
Yes. Even though her on the side of adult was fucking barely.
Yeah. Still, in the eyes of the law.
She was legal. And the thing that got me talking to my brother about this, actually, because he was the one that broke the news to me. He's like, have you seen the pictures? I'm like, no, and I don't fucking want to. I told you the same thing, then you sent me one.
Yeah, but
it was a meme, and yes, it was covered.
It was covered.
But that almost made it worse.
And it was hilarious.
It almost made it worse, though, because then you could see that look on his face, and it's like, oh my God, is that what we all look like doing that? It disturbed me, all right? It was fucking disturbing. But yeah, the thing that got my brother about it was the fact that he's a minister.
Is that right?
Yes. He's a minister. You would think a minister would even be like a little more on guard about that. It's like, you know, David Ellefson, the bass player for Megadeth, okay, fine, it'd be embarrassing, but David Ellefson, the minister at First Presbyterian Church in
Minnesota.
In Catfish, Minnesota, you know.
Because he doesn't live too far away from us, from what I understand.
No, well, he's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd think that would go through his head and go, oh, God, I don't know, man. The congregation, this is going to not go well. And yeah. And it didn't go well.
No, it didn't.
And that's, well, I was even asking people about their views of why would you risk it or whatever. And I know there was one person that told me that because he was so big in the 80s when it was anonymous, he just got away with shit like this for so damn long. His mind didn't understand, no, you can't get away with this anymore. Times have changed.
Yeah. When you're on the internet, you're on the internet.
Yeah, and I tell you what, let's go back to our teenage years, to quote Orrin Hatch. Fucking, political humor no one's gonna get. But, no, think about that. Aren't you fucking glad that the internet wasn't as big as it is now when we were teenagers? Because I sure the hell am.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If Facebook had existed when I was in high school, I'd probably have killed myself. I mean, just because shit like, well, teenage suicide has gone up. How much? Due to online bullying. You know, at our age, we could think about that. It's like, okay, yeah, this guy's a dickhead. Or you can even get mad at something you read. Think of what your mindset was like when you were 17 years old.
Or younger.
Or younger than that even. You know? Things mattered, god damn it. You know? Yeah. Fucking internet. Single best and worst thing to really ever happen to us, if you ask me.
Yeah.
All right. This movie was before the internet, though. So back to the movie. I think we covered enough Ellison ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the dreadlock guy tells this whole crew of 17-year-old buddies of his that at various states of late 70s loser, people that look like I look right now. In the loose bandana, the hair hanging in your face, ripped up jeans. Oh my God. I'm one of the Stone Age kids.
Possibly.
And I'm 41.
Uh-huh.
Which, okay, makes sense that Stevie Rochelle would play an extra, and he was probably in his mid-30s at the time. But anyway, or maybe late 20s.
So Tack gets a brilliant idea that he's going to go fucking
get these chicks.
Yeah.
Because the one consensus among the group is, not Worm and Crump's Brothers chicks. Yeah, man, you'd have to be a total hard-up loser to Worm Crump's Brothers chicks. And that was kind of, yep, and then Tack. It begins the first musical moment of the movie. The score of this movie, I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yep. And he gets the smirk on his face and kind of starts sauntering away from the group. Hey, Tack, where are you going? And he's just, yeah, I'm going to go worm some chicks. And Tack, the character of Tack, even for this group of people that look dangerously similar to me, disturbingly rather dangerous, Tack's the one that looks the weirdest of any of them. He's wearing like a down vest.
Yeah.
That when he gets thrown out of a car later explodes and all the feathers go everywhere.
And he's got,
why they thought of that detail?
He's got he's like a Hispanic guy with blonde hair.
Yes, yeah, because his name was Gonzalez.
Yeah,
but
dyed blonde hair.
But yeah, and he's wearing the baseball cap in the summer in Southern California. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the one that stands out amongst a group of people that all stand out to varying degrees. But yeah, he walks away, and then the song "Paranoid" comes on, and the title
and suddenly it's nighttime.
Yeah,
because this was like
suddenly it's night. You're right.
It was like mid-afternoon when they were talking about.
Yep, and then it's nighttime.
Those chicks.
The Stone Age title comes on. "Paranoid" is playing, and you see the first glimpse of the blue torpedo. Yeah, now, you're a gear guy. What the hell kind of car even was that?
It's like a Volkswagen,
like an old Volkswagen wagon, like station wagon.
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Dude, it was totally a station wagon.
No, they don't. It's not an actual station wagon.
But I mean, it's
like a 4-door sedan, some kind of
with an elongated back.
Yeah, but it wasn't. They don't. It's like how does Volkswagen put it? I can't remember.
I know, but okay. So that's the idea of this car, and the car is painted blue, hence blue torpedo, with a gigantic green eyeball on the hood in flames, which is referenced later.
It reminds me of the Mervmobile from Wayne's World.
The Mirthmobile,
yeah, Mirthmobile.
Yeah, that's probably where they yanked that idea.
Maybe it was.
But yeah, so it's this shitty fucking foreign car, and these two guys who are the central characters, Hubs and Joe.
Hold on a second. It was a Volkswagen squareback sedan.
Okay, so sedan.
I guess it.
I call anything like that a blanket station wagon.
I guess in the States, yeah, we would call that a station wagon.
Right. One car is so ugly, even my mother refused to ever drive one.
I like it.
And she was practical, but she would not drive a station wagon. In fact, my uncle, and it's a weird sidebar to get into, but you want to talk about what an actual great movie National Lampoon's Vacation was. He came to Thanksgiving at our house one year, and his car was in the shop or something, so he had to borrow his neighbor's car. It was like a Ford station wagon. And for the whole of that dinner, my poor Uncle Dennis heard nothing but poorly recited vacation jokes about the fucking family truckster. That's all hey, what's with the family truckster? Oh, love those green walls.
Yeah.
Have a little trouble in St. Louis. For the whole of that.
Ford LTD station wagon.
Yes, for like the first hour, the poor guy, it's all he heard about. And it was fucking great because it was the wood paneled, yellow paint.
Hey, you can't knock all station wagons because that 70s show, they had the Vista Cruiser.
Yes.
And that was a cool looking station wagon.
Well, I'm not knocking any of them. I just think it's hilarious that movie, one little part of the movie, one subplot, became a running joke at a family gathering at my house for a solid hour. And everybody got the joke. That's the damn thing. Nobody was looking around like, what's Mike talking about? I don't know, Dennis. Yeah, everyone knew. But anyway,
so going back to the Stone Age, and we're trying to place what year.
Okay,
so
what do you come up with?
I'm going to agree with you. It's probably very late 70s because this car that he's driving, they only made from 62 to 73.
Yeah.
So at the newest, it's a 73, but the car is pretty beat up.
Hell.
It's beat to shit, so it's got to be maybe a 62.
Honestly, Chad, I've put 5 years worth of damage on a couple of vehicles, and that's not a joke. That's just comes from not taking care of your car, which clearly they weren't when they had painted the entire thing.
Yeah, with the eyeball, the Blue Oyster Cult symbol.
Yes, of course, the BOC symbol. And yeah, the fucking green eyeball on the side in flames or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it's these two guys, Hubs and Joe. Now, Hubs, I guess, would be the kind of the star of this whole thing. Fucking Hubs is wearing a black leather jacket, motorcycle jacket, has long, straight black hair, I don't know, would you call him a good-looking guy?
Sure.
Okay.
Square jaw.
Square jawed, yes.
Square jawed.
Square jaw, smooth lines, good-looking guy.
He'd be like the California type.
And then you got Joe.
He'd be like the surfer guy if he wasn't into metal.
Sure, exactly. And then you got Joe. Now, if I was going to identify with any character in this whole fucking circus, it would be Joe. Because once again, he's got red hair that's like frizzy and hanging down, but fucking long.
Yeah, long red hair.
Long as hell. Clearly split ends, unkempt.
Wearing like a tie-dyed shirt or
and a denim jacket.
And a
pot leaf necklace and blown out jeans.
Yep.
Yeah, and unfortunately, on my better days, I look a lot like Joe. God damn, I think I subconsciously took so much of this movie in and didn't realize it. And now I'm scared.
So these two guys are just like cruising on a fucking Friday night or something.
Yep. Whatever
town they live in.
It looks almost like an Ames-sized town or something like that,
Who knows?
College town.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So they're headbanging, listening to Paranoid yelling "org" at random intervals. Org is their battle cry. Org! And it comes up a few different times in the movie.
Right.
Usually as a friendly greeting for the whole group. Oh, God, what is this, NPR? What the fuck are we talking? Anyway.
Friendly greeting for the whole group.
I like it. Just don't ask about the sweaty balls. But, all right. So anyway.
I can't remember what came first. Did they stop at the hot dog joint with those chicks? Or
No. What
they...
comes first is the dialogue, the first dialogue. So, Hubs, man, you got a plan? Hell yeah, I got a plan. I got a hellacious plan. First, you get an 8-ball. No. Quarter OZ. Fifth the jack, take the edge off, spark up that Sensimilla, and, I don't know, get those chicks all horn dogged out. Hubs, man, we're just going to do the same shit we always do. We're going to drive around like dumb fucks and end up at that stop-and-go place eating
gas station
Ronaldo's
Ronaldo's
potato burritos.
Ronaldo's burritos.
And then Hubs gets understandably offended and smacks him across the chest because they beat the shit out of each other in this movie.
And he's like, "Shut up, Joe Fag."
And clearly Fag wasn't a problem either. So.
Apparently not.
Well,
do you remember, and you probably don't, the second Bill and Ted movie?
Oh, right.
Where the robots throw him down the fucking cliff.
Yeah, because they hugged each other.
Uh-huh.
And which happened in the first movie. And I never caught. But, no, here's a fun one for you. So my kid, God bless her, I love her, has the insane ability to do the same thing that I guess, looking back on it, I did as a kid. Will fixate on a movie she likes and watch it over and over and over, back to back for like a month, to the point where you cannot stomach it for another 10 years. She found Adventures in Babysitting on the Disney Channel.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, not an altogether bad movie at all. Yeah, but no, it's horrible. But for Christ's sakes, the Babysitter Blues. You remember that song? Jesus God. But anyway.
How about Elizabeth Shue looks like the Playmate of the Year?
Yes. Okay, fine. So it is a good movie. Fuck you. I hate you. Anyway. No, the thing that got me about it was watching the edit of it. There was the part in the subway where, for some inexplicable reason, she's able to intimidate 2 gangs of people with a single switchblade by saying, "Don't fuck with the babysitter," and they all back off, as opposed to beating her, gang raping her, or what in all likelihood would have happened in a scenario like that.
Right.
They edited that part to say, "Don't fool with the babysitter." Right after the guy warned her, "Don't fool with the lords of hell." Now, that's not even the edit I'm talking about, though. Do you remember what the Brad, was that the 15-year-old who had the crush on Elizabeth Shue?
Probably. It's been a million years since I've seen this movie. But yeah.
Greatly. Okay, so anyway, Brad's sister took his Clearasil to color a picture of Thor, so he retorted with "Thor's a homo." Now, in the edit, it was "Thor's a weirdo." Yeah. So which always kind of make me wonder, weren't they almost calling more attention to it by editing it? Because I remember that part in the movie and being nonplussed by it. Like, okay, so he called him a homo, whatever. But I think by them calling attention to it, it's almost like, oh my God, he used the word homo. We have to edit this. I think politically correct is starting to get way the fuck out of hand, I gotta be honest with you. I mean, granted, if somebody's offended by that, okay, I'm sorry you're offended. I don't know, it all seemed like it called more attention to it, though, by editing it. Whereas it could have slipped right in there. I don't know anybody even would have heard it.
Yeah, or in your kid's case, she's never seen it. The unedited, that just seems normal right there.
Actually, she's seen both.
Has she?
Yeah.
Oh,
Even though any excuse my kid can come up with to try to slip a curse word in there. "No, Daddy, they said don't fuck with the babies." Like, all right, yeah, I know what they said. You're right. They switched it. Why they switched it? I said, for the reason you're going to be in trouble if you say that word again, okay? No, you can't use that kind of language. So, yeah, she knew. But I don't think she calculated why they would edit homo. I'd explain that. Well, gay people sometimes get offended by that. It's like when people call me a hippie. Do you not like that? It's like, I don't care, but other people would care. That's why they edit that. So I guess I answered my own question. Is it politically correct going too far? I'm so on the fence with it anymore. I think people are looking for shit to get pissed off about.
And to that I say, hey, fuck you.
It really, and that's what it's turned into, is all of a sudden, yeah, you now become a hero for telling someone to fuck off. It's like Larry Flint, Think about that guy. He is a champion to this day for free speech. Larry fucking Flint. Really, even he said this was a great joke and you all fell for it. He wasn't wrong. Back to the Stone Age then.
Right.
So they go, so the 2 guys are driving around, and then, yeah, here's a part that I can't believe nobody got offended by. They stop at the stop and go place. Get out of the car, and there come the fat jokes. First, Joe says, "What do you want, to party with the Buffalo Chicks?" And Hubs answers, "Yeah, and I want to pork their grandmas too. Maybe they know where there's a party." And you walk up to these 3 sizable women eating hot dogs in front of a gas station on a Friday night.
I thought it was a hot dog joint. Like Frank's Hot Dogs or
Wait,
something.
was it?
I think so.
You know what? I think you're probably right. Let's just say you're right.
Either way, I don't know. I think
They pulled up to a hot dog joint.
Whatever, a fucking hot dog joint.
In their search for power, glory, and fine chicks, they decided to go to a hot dog joint because they knew where to find.
Or they saw the Buffalo Chicks standing there. And
You think?
well, possibly. I mean, we got to use our imagination when they don't edit it into the movie, right?
You're not.
They stopped for a reason.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
I'm also probably not right, but so obviously these guys are familiar with these 3.
Yep.
And they must know that they know where the parties are at or whatever.
Because Hubs turns on the charm like only you can do with someone you know.
Right.
What's up, mamacitas? Would you say that to a stranger?
No.
Nor would I.
Not necessarily. No. But he says it with a confidence that of someone you know.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Familiar territory. So yeah, what's up, mamacitas? And they're, hey, you guys. So yeah, they clearly know each other, and then they kind of pulled the dick move of, where's the party? Well, where are you going? Yeah, they totally ditch him because they couldn't tell him where a party was.
Right.
Those poor Buffalo girls.
I'm sure they came out all right.
I'm willing to bet they did. And Good for them. Great for them. All right, so they talk to the Buffalo girls. They can't tell them where a party's at, so they get back in the car, just cruising. What happens after that?
I think they see Tack hitchhiking.
Yes, because they're going to hang a loogie on him.
Yeah.
There's
Hang
Tack.
a loogie. There's Tack. Hang a loogie on him.
Okay. I love Joe's voice when he complies. Like, it was just like asking one of your kids to take out the trash or something. Hang a loogie on him. Okay. Just like, this is the most natural thing in the world. Fucking spit on your friends on the highway.
Yeah. So he's rolling the window down manually.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And then, Tack, you cack. Fucking, my friends like that, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, so in the noise of the highway, and they're going fucking probably 60 past him, they can hear him scream in the back, "Hey guys, I've got some chicks."
And then he just comes to a dead screeching halt.
Yes, they locked up the brakes and
Tack's got some chicks.
they locked up the brakes, ground the clutch in reverse, and backed right the fuck up on a busy stretch of highway.
What'd you guys loogie on me
Why'd you guys
for?
spit on me?
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Joe,
Why'd
why'd
you
you-
spit on my friend Tack?
Fucking told me to, man. Smack. Yeah, one's getting beaten on each other, so Tack leans in conspiratorially. Hey, guys. What was it? I don't even remember how he put it, but he's already starting to lie about it. Lie number 1, I've got these fine chicks. Lie number 2, well, how many? Well, there's like a shitload of them. There are 2 of them. And really only one of them, by their definition, was fine, I guess. But anyway, so lies to them about that, so they try to get directions to where it's at. Well, let me in the car first. First thing they try to do is bribe him with their skank weed, which Tack's not having. It's fucking skank weed. And then the second fat joke of the movie, this will get all a bunch of fucking, what was it, Buffalo girls all horn dogged out William Holt style or some shit like that. And then they try to bribe him with their other reservoir, the crock of peppermint schnapps. Ding!
Yeah.
That somehow magically dings every time they tap on it. How big was that?
That was like a gallon.
A gallon,
jug.
yes. This gallon fucking old
Like
moonshine
a wine jug.
Yes. Yeah, the one that you can only fit one finger in the
Yep.
handle.
Fucking
Yes.
gallon of that. Ugh.
Yep, and the stuff is like pine green.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, that stuff makes me horf."
Shit makes me hork. And then all he wants to do is get in the car, and they can't convince him not to, so they let him in. And at that point, you cut to the next scene of Joe and Hubs both looking abjectly miserable in the front, while Tack rummages around and finds a, I don't know, probably day-old, week-old meat potato burrito.
And the Ronaldos.
Still in the wrapper, and sniffs it, takes a bite, and nods knowing like, oh, no, it's not so bad after all. Yeah. So
I think that's to drive home how big of a sleazy character Tack is supposed to be.
oh yeah, and that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
He just gets worse. But yeah, so they finally get the directions out of him, and they come up with a plan. Tack, I need gas money, and I need gas. So Tack gives him his last $5, beer money for the whole weekend. And they stop at this gas station where he orders Joe to get out and put they both walk up without Tack. And Joe looks at the car. Stay there, Tack! No, it's Hubs that says that.
Yeah.
Stay there, Tack! And come to think of it, I think I've used that voice with my kids a few times. Stay there. You gotta be firm, you gotta be firm. Boy, it's just not occurring to me how asshole that sounds. I gotta stop that. But anyway, so they order Tack to stay in the car. They walk up to the counter. It's a prepay self-serve. And the guy working the counter is the Reaper hitchhiker's little brother.
Right.
And he starts telling them about these 2 chicks that his brother found over by Torrance Beach. And then he bursts the first bubble. But it's a closed party, boys. Just 2 of them. And then he goes back to get the pack of Reds. And fucking, that's when they have their little conference. Fucking Tech the Keck lied to us. Actually, Joel makes a stupid statement. Yeah, there's not a shitload of chicks there. Yeah, well, no shit. Tech the Keck lied to us. So they try to finagle a plan how they're going to ditch Tack. How do they do this? First, they distract Crump's brother by telling him that some dancer his brother's into is dancing at, what was it, Diamond Doug's?
I don't even know what that place was called, but yeah, it was like it's amateur night.
Yep.
Amateur night at Diamond Doug's. And what's her name's dancing?
Desi, I think her name was.
I don't know.
That Desi chick who apparently his brother really had a thing for. So somehow his younger brother is convinced that these two idiots, Hubs and Joe, can get them in. Come on, man. Don't be cold-blooded. Can you get me and my brother in? How old is his brother that he can't get into a strip bar? Because I pegged the guy at like early 20s.
He probably was early 20s, but he's probably playing like a 16-year-old.
Who'd already been to prison for assaulting some guy who lived.
No,
That's what you find out about.
Crump.
Okay, fair enough.
Not his brother.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. But no, fucking...
So you got to sneak the 16-year-old in.
Right, you do, of course, but Crump's brother wouldn't need to be snuck in. That's why I found it kind of funny that he think, well, can you get us in? I don't know. It must be an exclusive club or a horrible hole in the plot, of which there are many, right. because that's where you start to notice other current things, mostly cars at this point.
Right.
But there's one scene that comes up after they ditch tack, where they go into a convenience store and there's a sign on the door that says, "Get the miles, get the gear." Now, anybody that doesn't have old balls like I do is probably not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. That was an old promotion for Marlboro cigarettes. It was called the Adventure Team. You'd cut off, like, they're almost like box tops that they called miles, and you'd collect these things, mail them in, and get, like, a hoodie or a hat or something.
Duffel bag.
Yeah, duffel bag. I had this kind of shit. I made my father save his cigarette packs for me. But, yeah, fucking hum. Yeah, it was called the Adventure Team, and the whole slogan was, "Get the miles, get the gear." This happened in 1993.
Yeah, that would have been,
Yeah, that
early to mid 90s.
Yes, that promotion was 92 or 93, because I was 13 when it was going on. Which, jeez, I just portray really how old I am. But yeah, that sign is on the door as they're in 1979.
Yep.
That was the first continuity error I noticed when I was watching it. But
well, later on when they try to go score the liquor, you can see a Marshall's sign behind them.
Yes, that was the big one too, the Marshall sign.
Yeah, like they're at a gas station or a liquor store or something.
Yes, that one actually online. That one was pointed out.
Yeah,
I forget the one article I found about the Stone Age and how many years the internet.
I mean, you can't do much about that.
No, you can't. But if you have a big budget, yeah, you can.
Well, obviously, we're not working with a big budget.
No, we're not.
They probably paid the cast and crew and talls.
I can't remember, but yeah, it's a famously low budget. But yeah, so they get to the gas station, they get in the car, and Hubs orders Tack to get out and wash the windows. So finally he relents and gets out to wash the windows. Joe finishes pumping gas. They get in the car and they speed away while Tack had to walk up and grab the squeegee to wash the windows.
Right.
So they're speeding away from him, and Tack grabs onto the door handle and pleads them, "Come on, man, don't be a worm." And Joe's just like, he's got a moral dilemma on his hands. "Sorry, bro, I don't know what to do." He looks scared because he knows that Hubs is going to beat the shit out of him if he doesn't knock him out.
He's in a very abusive relationship.
Oh, horribly. My God. But yeah. So Hubs finally takes matters in his own hands and pelts fucking Tack out of the car. But
it's so funny when he's like, "Don't be a worm." It's like, what the fuck are you being?
And that's it. That's the subplot. But no, I can't believe I forgot about the part that we skipped over when they were before they picked up Tack, when they were trying to figure out what music to listen to.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I can't believe I missed this. But yeah, or skipped over it. But yeah, they're driving around listening to the band Focus with the yodeling song from the 70s.
Yeah.
Yodi-yo, yodi-yo. And then the 8-track player, because it's the 70s, eats their fucking 8-track, which I don't know if you ever rode around in a car with an 8-track player.
Oh,
My father had one, and he got so bored of tapes being eaten, he'd throw them out the window no matter where we were. We could be in town in, like, Mayberry of all places. He'd just throw it out the fucking window. He didn't care. Nobody cared. But yeah, that was a common occurrence. Tapes always getting eaten. So they take that one out, and Joe's understandably upset. It was his tape. "Hey man, things just scarfed my tape." So Hubs is unaffected. "Big shit, put in another one." So Joe gets the kind of simple, okay. Puts in Blue Oyster Cult Agents of Fortune. That just happens fortuitously to be cued right up to the song Don't Fear the Reaper. And Joe's kind of nodding, "All right, this is good." And Hubs gets a very perturbed look on his face. Like somebody slapped him or something. And he kind of looks at him and says, "The fuck is this?" And I don't know if you felt like this the first time you watched the movie, but what is he mad about? Why is this bad?
Yeah, it's like, wait, why is this bad?
What did I miss? And then after that, he explains to him.
This is a pussy song.
Yeah, they get in the argument about, well, it's B.O.C. It's a pussy song. It's B.O.C. How can it be pussy? And that's where the other homosexual joke comes out. Every band puts out a song so they can find out who the faggots are. Now take it out. And then Joe stands up for himself for the first time. Fuck you. And Hub isn't having that. Fuck me. And then he grabs him in a headlock while he's driving. The car's swerving all over the place. It's a pussy song. Say it. No. Say it. No. Come on. Faggot. Say it. No. No. And then finally Joe's, I think, about to lose consciousness or something. And he finally realizes, fine, okay, it's a pussy song. What? It's a pussy song. And that's when you hear the background noise of just the drums beating. Horribly off time. It's the best fucking score ever. It's not even a guitar. It's just...
You know what it reminds me of? And this is probably where they took the cue from, but you ever see that movie, 2001, Space Odyssey?
No, but there's so much of it that's taken from that movie. I do know that.
Yeah, like, because that's kind of the...
Is it really? The score?
The overall theme of the movie is it starts in the Stone Age, you know,
right.
Like monkeys are learning how to use tools.
Oh my dude, I've said this a few times on this podcast, but you literally just blew my fucking mind. The stoned, Jesus, you are a fucking mental wizard, dude. I never even thought about
it. That's what this soundtrack reminds me of, because it's very
sparse.
Yeah, sparse, but also like primitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those moments they had to highlight with the primitive drums.
Yes. Yeah, because the two times it happens is when they're in the car,
it's like
putting each other in headlocks.
Two monkeys fighting.
Oh, my God. Dude, you say this is not an intellectual podcast. This is... I can't think of a word. That's how intellectual this is. But, yeah, so Joe finally relents after Buck getting his head cut off and admits, quote unquote, that the song is a pussy song, takes it out, and then Hubs hits him again after he puts in Cat Scratch Fever, and that's where they pick Tack up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, they've kicked Tack out of the vehicle. He falls to the ground, and his down vest explodes, and all these feathers go fucking flying everywhere. And yet the thing's intact for the next scene.
Yeah.
Like it didn't lose anything. Continuity. But anyway, so they ditch Tack. Fucking, and Joe has an attack of conscience. Well, I just don't think it's cool to worm Tack. And fucking Hubs gives probably the most vulgar line in the entire movie. Fuck it, man, we got some chicks. We're gonna fuck them doggy style and shit on their parents' beds. Ugh!
Nice.
I don't know that it gets any better than that for lowbrow observations. Well, what do you got?
What the fuck happened after that?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of lost on, because no. Tack calls Hanky.
Okay.
He's on a payphone calling his buddy Snotrag, who is not, in fact, Snotrag. His last name is Hanky,
right.
But they always call him Snotrag, and you can hear him over the phone saying, "Don't call me that. My last name's Hanky." "All right, Hanky, come on, man, give me a ride." "No, fuck it. Now you pissed me off. I'm coming over." So.
Oh yeah, because he was like, I don't know.
But Dukes of Hazzard's on. It's my favorite show.
Yeah.
Will not leave the house because the Dukes of Hazzard is on, and Tack ain't having that. So
so here's another character that doesn't fit with the rest of them.
Who, Hanky?
Yeah, because he's like got the white button-down shirt that's tucked in.
The whole point, Chad, is he's being ripped out of his element to party with these miscreants.
What kind of car does he have?
A 67 Camaro.
Yeah, which is like the baddest fucking car you got.
Dude, have you seen some of the people that drive
like,
muscle cars?
He's like, I've been working on it all summer. And this thing has no fucking hood, and it's like got a blower on it, and it just tears ass everywhere.
You know, that's probably his whole thing. He's probably mechanically inclined to the point of an obsession with cars that doesn't allot for looking what cool was back then, or even going out. I think about his favorite shows, the Dukes of Hazzard.
I don't know.
The General Lee. Yeah,
but still, he has this muscle car, and
see, and that didn't bother me. That part of it didn't bother me.
It just doesn't match up, I don't think.
Because
you're talking 79, so that's probably right around the time my dad got his car, which is a 67 Firebird.
Say 79. Fuck, my poor dad. He had already, by 78, got rid of his 68 Camaro. And if memory serves, I think his car after the 68 Camaro was 71, or was it 73? 71 Plymouth Fury 3 Grand Coupe.
I'm just saying that Hanky doesn't fucking fit the bill for having such a monster car.
I gotta respectfully disagree with you. I think anybody can own a monster car.
You're right.
that's why I respectfully disagree. And who better than a dork like him to lock himself away, only it's in a garage?
But he never got his just due, you know?
No, he got screwed, royally screwed.
Yeah.
They fucked up his car. He wound up, I'm guessing by the end, they all got hauled away.
Yeah.
After the third time of getting busted by Officer Dean.
Right.
Which, there's another sub-character that, there are so many of them, but he is probably my favorite in that whole movie. For the simple fact that, well, tell the viewers who can't see us what shirt I'm wearing right now.
Dixie Cup Dean.
Dixie Cup Dean. I'm wearing a shirt that says Dixie Cup Dean. If you look at the fucking Alice in Chains picture, or maybe we take a selfie before we leave or something, you'll see that. I had that made for my bachelor/bachelorette party. God, it was a week before I got married? I don't remember. But anyway, because my wife and I were both theme people, you know, we love doing shit like that. Her much more than I do. But this one I jumped right on because, like, okay, well, we got to give everyone in our party a theme or whatever. And so I, for whatever reason, I said, fuck it, I'm going to make everyone be a character in the Stone Age. Not only that, but every one of us, because there are only, let's see, 4 of us, everyone's going to be one of the deans. Because it's me and my brothers and my neighbor. And I don't know that my neighbor really was that aware of it, and that's why he wanted to become in Hubs. But, nope. Fucking one brother was a doggy door dean, because he described himself as a dog at one point. And then the other one was Quick Dick Dean. I don't know, he picked that one. Probably, I don't know, maybe you can piss really quick or something. I don't know. He was Quick Dick Dean, and then I was Dixie Cup Dean. There was no way I wasn't going to be Dixie Cup Dean. For one thing, you know, my wife's from North Carolina, so, hey, Dixie. And, well, I love those cups. But then I also like drinking to an excessive degree, so it would not be uncommon if my name was Dean to call me Dixie Cup Dean. So, that's where we get introduced to him. The first thing they do is they get tax beer money for the whole weekend, and no,
they drive down.
They meet the chick first. You're right.
Yep, they drive down to fucking Torrance. No, it's not even Torrance.
I thought it was Torrance.
I thought that side party was in Torrance. They're like fucking by the
no,
Frankie Avalon place.
The Frankie Avalon place was in Torrance. The side place was something Estates. What the fuck? God damn it, this is going to torch me now. Because Muldoon was the asshole, Gary Busey's son, no less, hosting it. Palos Verde or something like that. PV, yeah. It was PV because they called it the PV Estates. It was like a gated community.
Right.
But no, Torrance Beach was where the Frankie Avalon place was. Palo Verde or whatever, some gated suburb or some shit. Where they were at, we never do find out. But anyway, so you're right. Before you meet Dixie Cup Dean, they wind up driving and finding the Frankie Avalon place. And the role he plays in the movie is still hilarious. But
Did
yeah,
he just play himself?
Yes. Yeah, he's the last character you see.
Yeah.
Asking about the party with the shitload of fine chicks. Yeah, fucking Frankie Avalon. But anyway, yeah, so they find the place, and their clue to which house it was is the silhouette of the hot chick conveniently getting dressed right at the moment they're walking up the street.
Of course.
They're like, well, I don't hear any party noises. And one of them says, looks like a party going on over there. So basically voyeurism. They're watching some bitch get dressed and decide, we're knocking on that door. And it all plays out. Nobody questions the veracity of this at all. But anyway, so they're carrying their schnapster with them. And even Joe says, why the hell are you bringing that? Well, can't show up empty-handed. So they knock on the door. And that's when you get the first taste of rock candy. So, and they do a complete panning up of this entire chick or whatever. And first words out of her mouth were, who the fuck are you? And so they have to speak. My name's Hubs. His name's Joe. Nobody says anything. And even Joe says, well, we hear you want to party. So she stops and lists off this laundry list of chemicals. The one that got me the most about it, you got any blow? You got any crank? You got any pot? You got any lewds? Well, what kind of party is this going to be? Crank. Why the fuck was she asking for crank in the late 70s in Southern California? That one kind of surprised me.
Trucker drug?
But even back then, it was crushed up White Crosses. Crank, like manufactured crank, I don't think really blasted onto the nation for quite a while.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah, so she lists off this laundry list of shit that they don't have. And so they talk about, well, we got alcohol. And the first thing she says is, what, Annie Green Springs? I never did find out what that is. Is that a wine or something?
I thought it was a schnapps.
Probably, but no. Hubs busts out the crock. We get the schnapser, and then the ding. And she's clearly not impressed with this, so they ask her what she drinks, and she tells them 151.
Oh, it is a wine.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so she tells them I drink 151. If you can get that, then I'll go crazy or whatever the hell. So they take off, and they got to figure out how they're going to get a bottle of 151.
So is this just rum? 151?
Yeah,
rum?
Bacardi 151 proof rum. The fire-breathing rum.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Stuff Steven Tyler would drink on stage and hand to the kids in the front row, and they'd all puke. Yep. Fun Aerosmith fact. But, yeah, so the next scene, they cut to Tack having showed up at his buddy Hankey's house with a can of the ever-present, I can't believe I haven't mentioned it until just now, Ox 45.
Yeah, Ox 45 Talls.
Yes, Talls. Always the Talls. And that's why we're drinking Talls
Talls.
right now. Unfortunately, not Ox 45. Dude, I couldn't even find Colt 45 for my bachelor party. But anyway, yeah, all of us were wearing those shirts. I took 4 mini bottles of peppermint schnapps and put fucking green food coloring in them. And mixed them up and gave everyone a can of a tall of Ice House. Because it's the only other shitty beer I could think of. Yeah, gift bags. Those were mine. I don't know.
That was my 40 of choice in high school.
Oh, are you kidding? Absolutely. It's cheap and
Ice House.
cheap and high octane.
Yeah, cheap. They made it in 40s.
Boy, did I get in trouble with that
That's
shit.
just a couple bucks.
Yep. But anyway, so he shows up at Hankey's house, sets the tall on the fucking welcome mat that says "Welcome to the Hankeys," and that's when you see Hankey, who is this skinny, greasy-haired,
Nerdy guy.
button-down total nerd, and he's irritated. Tack, what are you doing here? And Tack basically says, "Fuck you, snot rag, let's go." Yeah. And that's when he has to correct him again. No, don't call me that. Which he spends the whole movie correcting people calling him snot rag.
Right.
I do love that. And so he tries.
That doesn't make sense because he's got such a cool car. Why would you call him Snot Rag?
Because Tack is completely tone deaf to courtesy.
I know.
But anyway, so at that point they're arguing back and forth. And Tack
His
says,
fucking mom shows up.
"Yeah, well, what's your mom gonna do?" And then the mom shows up. I don't even know how to describe this woman, but not
Your
even
typical like mom.
Not
like short, curly hair, big glasses, frumpy lady that would be like, "Why don't you come inside for dinner?"
Chad. Not even an older lady I would touch, even for the humor in it. No, looks like a mom.
Yeah, looks like a mom.
So somehow Tack charms her. Well, he starts to call her Mrs. Snot, then corrects himself. She kind of gives him the huh.
Yeah, gave him a look like
Look
you
that you
better.
give a 4-year-old
you
for grabbing
better
the
not.
ice cream.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Mrs. Hankey, I just thought Norman here would want to come hang out with some friends. Oh, that sounds fun. She
Because-
has to shove him out the door.
Because that's how big of a dork he is.
Yes, she has to shove him out the door as he's protesting, "What about my favorite show?" And her only admonition to them, don't eat too many hot dogs.
That's right.
Yep,
At Frank's Hot Dog Shack, where the Buffalo Chicks were.
correct, you are. So then they get in.
Don't eat too many hot dogs.
Don't eat too many hot
Like,
dogs.
that's the worst fucking thing you can do. All right.
It's about the worst thing I could do. Oh, hot dogs, I haven't had one since I was a kid. Horrible. But anyway, so then they get into, all right, go on about the car. This is your moment,
Oh,
Chad.
it's awesome. It's such a badass car.
Come on, tell the listeners why it's unfathomable that this guy we just described as a button-down door could have the following car.
Because, well, all right, so maybe the time period it's feasible because they were like dime a dozen.
That's what I'm saying.
It would have been a 12-year-old car, maybe.
It was a 67, I do know that.
Yeah.
Vent window in the
The
front.
vent window in the front. Very good, Josh.
I don't study a lot about cars or whatever, but muscle cars in that era couldn't change the oil in one, but I could identify what year a Chevelle is just by looking at the front end.
Yeah.
Details. That's what I like.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's a very badass car.
Hell yes, it is. Unfortunately, it's like just the standard, though. It's not Rally, nor is it SS. Rally had the blacked out headlights.
Well,
I know because my father had one and he sold it for $2,000.
we don't know what it is because he's put work into it over the summer.
Yeah, but so you're saying maybe it could have had hidden headlights?
Well, I don't know if it had hidden headlights, but it definitely had some engine work done to it.
Massive, can't fit under the hood engine work.
Yep.
Because there was no hood.
Because there's no hood.
At which point, Tack gets in there and
And he just lets this fucking guy would
and
be
that's
like,
what I couldn't understand.
like
That
why
I
would you
couldn't understand.
why would you let that dickhead drive your car?
That one I couldn't understand either. I'll give you that. Why Tack was driving it was his car, but
Yeah.
maybe Tack bullied that too. come on, I'm driving.
Fuck no.
But
I'm driving.
So what does Norman do? He pleads with him to be careful, and that's when we find out. Been working on it all summer. Tack at that point tosses his empty can of Ox 45 out in the driveway and plows over some neighbor's fence, and then they're on their way.
Just squealing tires, fucking all an ass.
Yep.
Which is what she would do in that car.
Yes. At which point, then we get to the liquor store part that I referenced before, where you saw the get the miles, get the gear sign on the door and all that.
Right.
You walk in and Disco Inferno is playing on the sound system, and you see the disco store clerk with the fucking frosted sunglasses and the feathered hair and everything else. He was in an episode of Seinfeld once.
We've seen him before in things. I know we have.
There was an episode of Seinfeld he was in. He played a gay hairdresser.
See, I'm not a Seinfeld fan, so I wouldn't have known that.
It's good stuff. But anyway, yeah, so we walk in, and this guy's doing the hustle behind the counter, just dancing or miming or pulling or something. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. So Hubs walks in and says, "What's up, Super Freak?" And the guy takes off his shades, and then they commiserate by the 151, and Tack says, or Tack, I'm already losing track. Hubs tells Joe, "Go for it, try to get it." At which point, Joe walks up to the counter while Hubs is, we find out later, stealing a pint of 151, and tries to pay for it, and the guy's trying to talk him into buying Annie Green Springs first, which, call back to the thing that the chick said. Yeah. And then he starts giving him advice. Do the hustle. Put a little insanity on your potato.
And what I thought was hilarious is that Joe is dancing with him.
Yes, he starts kind of loosening up a little bit and trying to, and he even turns. He does a twist.
He's fucking flirting with the dude.
I think he was just trying to figure out how to score chicks, and any advice was going to be welcome. Yeah, maybe I can kind of dance like this. Now, the dude was definitely hitting on him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he was definitely going to let him buy that liquor.
He was going to throw some insanity on his potato.
Yeah.
Which is the single greatest, most nonsensical thing I've ever heard in my life. There, I said it. But anyway, so at that point, Hubs walks up to him and is like, "What are you doing?" And so the guy's still disco dancing. At that point, here come the cops. The partner, I didn't even catch his name, but then Officer Dean. And he walks up, and at that point, the guy snaps out of his disco haze and says, "I'm going to need some ID." And he kind of nudges over to the door where the cops are, and they're like, "Oh, thanks anyway." And that's when they get stopped by Dean, and Dean begins one of his speeches. When Hubs gets offended, says, "Just because we got long hair, you think we're criminals." And Dean, as he does throughout the movie 3 different times, wants to relate to the kids, and he starts everything off the same way. You guys probably think I'm a real butthead, don't you? Don't you think I wanted to take a taste of alcohol when I was your age? Hell. And he looks to the sky as you hear the heavenly music in the background. They used to call me Dixie Cup Dean. And then Joe breaks the spell by saying, "Whoa," and snaps out of it. That's cool. And then Officer Dean sends them on their way while he scores the Twinkies and the chocolate milk for the cops. And in the next scene, you see Hubs pull the pint out of his fucking shirt, says, "I don't know about, what is it, spank the monkey with your greasy grandpappy, but I'm getting laid."
Right.
So what happens after that?
I don't know. Fuck.
Okay, because fucking Tack and Hanky, they're like, let's just say they get back to the house. And then knock on the door opens again, and you hear Rock Candy play. Only the panning of the camera looks slightly different because this chick is wearing denim bell-bottoms.
It's different than the other chick.
With a butt. And it flashes up to the very irritated look on this brunette's face. She's frowning. She's not amused. She's not blonde. And Hubs at that point, he's looking down at the ground, all happy or whatever, and he kind of looks up, and this smile disappears entirely, and you hear the music slow down like it's on a turntable that got the power cut. Who the fuck are you? And then what was it?
I like the audacity. He's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah. Fucking. And then there's the third gay joke of the movie. "You two must be looking for the homo sponge bath party. It's 2 doors down." And at that point, she's ready to kick him out. But then...
I don't know, to be fair, if that was your house and somebody was like, "Who the fuck are you?" You bet the homo sponge bath party's 2 doors down.
I think I'd be too shocked to make a smart-ass remark. I would probably just stare at them dumbfoundedly like, what? It really... So yeah, another suspension of disbelief that was her reaction. But yeah, so Lainey, the hot chick, comes to the door, lets them in. And this is another continuity one. When the fuck did Sunny Delight come out? Because he takes this fucking pint of 151 rum and decides to mix it with, of all things, Sunny Delight. And I could never reconcile that one either.
I'm going to Google that.
Please do. Because, yes, he pours his pint of 151 into a bottle of Sunny Delight that's like half full, mixes the shit up, and then they all pass the bottle around.
1963.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe we didn't get it in Iowa until the 90s.
You know what? We're gonna call this a halfway point.
It's a halfway.
All right, but anyway, so they mix this drink up, and I remember even thinking then that's got to be foul tasting. That can't be good.
Well, see, it used to be called Sunny Delight until 2000.
Oh, and then they changed it to
Sunny D because
people are stupid. Is why. It's too much effort to say 3 syllables.
I think they changed the formula.
They probably did too, because I had it, and it was not what I remember as a kid. A lot less sugar. But anyway, Jesus. But anyway, so they're mixing their drink, and they're all, I'm assuming, trying to get to know each other, however they do in that situation. And
because it's very awkward. Like, you just have 2 dudes show up at your house.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that is horribly awkward. I never thought about that.
Yeah, just
2 random dudes that could be serial killers, and these 2 presentable-looking young ladies are, oh, yeah, come on, and you got 151, fuck it, we'll get drunk. We don't know you. Tell my mom I love her, but
I don't know. It just seemed really awkward, but I think that's Blondie's fault because she is the party girl.
It was. But then, as if that backdrop wasn't awkward enough, Joe says the first awkward line of the movie that it took me years and looking up what he was talking about to realize how sick it was. He looks at Laney and says, "You look like the chick from the Virgin Killers
album." No shit, dude. I looked that up right away when I heard that.
See, I didn't have that capacity when I saw it back then. But yeah, it was many years later.
There's another album too, and I can't remember what it is.
Oh, what, Scorpions? They have so many of them that are banned.
Not the Scorpions. It was a different band.
Oh, what, with that little prepubescent?
Yes.
Ah!
God, it was like a super group too, and I don't want to say.
Oh, Blind Faith.
Yeah,
Blind Faith. Eric Clapton. Yeah, that one they had to change too, but yeah, he tells her she looks like the Virgin Killers album. That is not complimentary in any fucking way unless you're a goddamn pedophile.
That's creepy.
And then it keeps coming up too. Dude, guys, she looks like the chick on the Virgin Killers album. Yeah! What the fuck? What the ever-loving fuck? Who wrote that line into the movie? Why? To show how weird they were, or because you weren't paying attention and you were looking through the Scorpions catalog and, oh, Virgin Killer, this can't be that bad, and didn't actually see the cover? Really?
I don't know.
Yeah, gross. Just fucking flat out gross. But then after Laney blows him off with, yeah, I know. Then they start talking about Blue Oyster Cult. Poor Joe keeps trying to make conversation and is getting nowhere with it, and looks at the shirt she's wearing, which is a BOC shirt, and says, that's a rad shirt, and tries to say, yeah, we were there at Long Beach, and she says, well, I was backstage at this place. And then he starts talking about the green eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, because they were shooting lasers into the crowd, and one of the lasers hit him, and then out of nowhere he sees this big, gnarly green eyeball. And they're all staring at him like he's out of his fucking mind because he goes on for what was seemingly 5 minutes about the gnarly green eyeball.
Right, and his existential experience he had there.
Yep, that wasn't appreciated.
The eyeball was telling him, you better get your shit together.
Essentially, yeah. That's what I get.
It's another one of those, I think it's another one of those 2001 Space Odyssey kind of
well, it definitely is.
References.
It for sure is. But yeah, so.
And they were like, he sounds like Mungo, man.
Mondo,
whatever.
Mondo Man.
Who's
Mondo Man? Oh, he's just some dude. And that's another line.
Some dude.
That's another line that recurs, just some dude. But yeah, so at that point, the ladies go to the bathroom to talk. And leave Joe and Hubs by themselves, where Hubs is saying, yeah, I'm going to get laid. It's so obvious. And poor Joe's saying, well, she's so hot. She's the queen of my dreams and all this. And you know damn well how it's going to end. But at that point, you go to the girls in the bathroom trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with these 2 people. And at that point, the disgusted brunette says, they're probably pissing in the ice cube trays. Don't be so paranoid. They're not that lame, man. Sure enough.
Pissing in the ice cube
You
tray.
see an upward view of them that, now that I think about it, looks disturbingly like Dave Ellefson. And that picture you fucking sent me, you asshole.
So this is foreshadowing also for another part of the movie.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
It does. There's a lot of callback in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the one strength they kind of have is callback humor. But yeah, so they piss in the tray, stash them, and Hubs, to distract, grabs a can of Pringles, and they get yelled at for eating the Pringles. And then there's a knock on the door, and you get the fucking background musical score. And it's Tack and Norman. And they just walk in. And at that point, fucking Tack, what is his grand line after he opens the Ox 45 and spills it all over? Hey, bring on the bitches! And as soon as Laney walks in, he screams, I'm gonna scorch my shorts! Now, shit his pants or cum in them? Neither one is good, mind you. But I think the shitting in the pants one would make a lot less sense. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there. But yeah, that's the lack of class that Tack displays. And then at that point, Joe fucking starts beating on him. I mean, the way, or not Joe, Hubs. The way Hubs beats on people is fucking severe as shit. Fucking pops him right in the nose and then fucking goes to drag him out, and Joe's trying to drag Hanky out.
It's almost comical.
It's very comical. It's almost
the
comical.
way he hits him. It just reminds me of a 50s cartoon.
Yes, and that's very much, I think,
like Popeye hitting
boom.
someone.
But yeah, fucking, and then they're struggling trying to drag them out.
Yeah.
And of course, Tack the whole time knows who he'd better yell at, not Hubs. He yells at Joe the whole time. I'm not gonna forget this Connolly. I'm not gonna forget this Joe. And Hubs is the one beating the shit out of him. So at that point, the girls stop them from arguing, and Tack blows it by saying, hey, there's a party up in PV, the gated community.
Right.
That Hubs and Joe did not want to go to. But yeah, so they all pile into the fucking Camaro that for some inexplicable reason Tack is still driving. And drive to the gated community where they happen upon a fucking disco soundtrack and knock on the door, and there's Gary Busey's son.
It doesn't matter what the soundtrack is. It's the jock party.
Yeah, but the time period means late 70s,
Yeah,
so it was disco.
disco.
And they weren't listening to BOC, damn it.
They were wearing khaki shorts and polo shirts.
And Adidas tank tops, like the old 70s style.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which, I tell you what, my wife is an Adidas fanatic, loves Adidas, has all the Adidas workout gear. I'm still looking for the one shirt that has that weird old 70s flower on it. If I can find one of those in black, I want it. Because it's just 70s as shit. In fact, they had it in Dazed and Confused. Green and called it Cannabis as opposed to Adidas. Clever,
Of course.
But yeah, so anyway, Gary Busey's son. What is that guy's name? Because he was in Starship Troopers as well.
I don't know. It could be Jeff for all I care.
But either way, Gary Busey's son answers the door, and he's got the blonde feathered hair and the Adidas tank top and the khaki or the white shorts, and lets the two chicks in, ladies, and then stops them and doesn't let him in. And his only real line was, but you just let our chicks in. Yeah, it's ladies' night. Like the prominent front teeth and all that, just Jake, that's right.
Jake Busey.
Yeah, so he lets them in, and then Tack gets pissed off after the door slammed on him. Fuck you, Muldoon! And then I think it was Joe that finally said, well, why'd you bring us here? Well, me, it's Muldoon! And Joe finally gets so pissed off that he storms away from his miscreant friends fighting amongst each other. Walks to the back of the house where, for some inexplicable reason, he's got real easy access to not only a gate, but to open the sliding door after Laney slaps Jake Busey. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Prior to that, they all go back around the house trying to figure out if there's a party, and Hubs gives the battle cry, "Org!" And sure enough, all 20 of the guys from the beginning of the movie turn right around and greet him with a "Org!" And that's where you get to better know some of the other characters. Like the one guy wearing the hoodie that says "No Fat Chicks" on it.
Yeah.
Mike New York, I think his name was. We find out later, but yeah, so they all got, and for whatever reason, Mike New York has a fucking beer ready for Hubs right away. And Joe is like a second behind. Hey, Hubs, here's your beer. Like they just knew they were going to show up. So they're fucking commiserating about how, man, this sucks, where's all the chicks? And at one point, some poor chick opens the sliding door.
And all of them
They all go nuts.
Yeah!
And yet she goes right back inside. And they kind of just, oh. And then the Asian-looking guy with the straight black hair, he pep talks everybody. Hey, what's the problem, guys? All our buddies are here. Plenty of lawn ornaments to break. And we got a full cake. Ain't even been tapped yet. Wow. And at that point, Joe is not happy about it. So that's when he sneaks around to the other side of the house, where for some reason he could see Lainey and Jake arguing. I never did figure out about what. Oh, she was trying to get drugs from him. Because she says later, what does a girl have to do to get any dope or whatever the fuck? But we'll assume that that's what they're arguing about. And at one point, she slaps him, and he just kind of walks away. And then Joe, at that point, opens the sliding door to wherever the hell they were at. He could have got in the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they walk off because he's kind of fibs and says, well, I got some Lumbo back at the torpedo. Well, it's just a pinch. Well, I should tell Hubs. Why? She talks him into ditching him. Basically, this bitch is only after dope. To where she was either going to be Hubs or Joe, but she'll get him to turn on his friend. So, what happens after? How did we get to the second Officer Dean appearance? Oh, because Tack, at one point, Snotrag's pissed off. He says, come on, my favorite show's already over. Can't we just go home? And Tack just says, I got to take a leak. And at that point, the cops get called.
Pissing in the neighbor's pool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
Quick Dick Dean.
That's right. Don't you think that I want to get drunk and piss in my neighbor's pool when I was your age? Hell, used to call me Quick Dick Dean. And then he lets him go.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I know when the party got busted, they grabbed the keg and took it with them.
Yeah.
And I think Officer Dean took that. But no, at that point he's Quick Dick Dean. But yeah, so then you get to where
because they walked, didn't they?
Yep.
So they walked back down to like the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what happens was Hubs figured out Joe ditched him, so he's dragging the other chick with him, basically being a prick to her. Come on, move your ass. And then you cue to Joe and Lainey, the blonde, and her telling him to go break into the guy's jacuzzi.
Oh yeah, they're gonna skinny dip in the.
Yeah, we should smoke a bowl in that guy's jacuzzi.
The neighbor's house.
Yep. So she strips down to her bikini, and I think this had to have been a time period line. Are those real puka shells? That's like a 70s thing or whatever. Mm. And that's when she tells him that her friend's dad bought her the bikini, which is creepy in and of itself. But so she tells Joe, all right, get undressed. And he strips down to his Ox 45 boxer shorts. Mm. I want these boxer shorts.
Ox 45.
Yeah. But the thing I wondered about, though, is for whatever reason, this little detail kind of didn't really sit right. It's like both him and Joe, or Joe and Hubs, rather, are both wearing boxer shorts. I think there's a lot of briefs wearing in the 70s.
Probably.
I think they'd have been wearing fucking briefs. Just a thought. But yeah, so they get in there and he somehow has an empty can of Ox 45 at his disposal.
Of course.
And starts fashioning a homemade pipe in a fucking can.
With a knife.
Yes, good call. Where'd the knife come from? But yeah, so he starts making the fucking beer can pipe or whatever the fuck. At that point, she's talking about how, I just want to get crazy and do this or whatever. And then she smells the bag. And somehow she knows from the scent of it that it's no good. What the fuck is this? Well, it's pretty good, Lumbo. This is fucking skankweed. She throws it at him in the jacuzzi. And he somehow rescues it because he'll smoke it later. But yeah, she gets all pissed off. And at that point, he's trying to figure out what happened. And you see the arm come across his neck and lift him right out of the fucking pool. Or the jacuzzi. It's Hubs. And he's pissed. And the reason he's so pissed is because Lainey ain't even naked yet. You remember that? When he done telling him, don't you ditch me or whatever, and then he just flips and goes, fuck are you doing? She ain't even fucking naked yet. And then he jumps in and somehow goes in there, and after 3 seconds, he dunks her head under the water. She swims in the pool, and they're making out. Like, the asshole thing worked that quickly. He didn't have to give her dope or anything. But then Joe, at that point, is this a 2001 reference when he starts throwing shit in the pool? Because you hear the...
It must be. And because then he starts making monkey noises.
Like the tribal drums.
Yeah.
And then Hubs can't resist. He joins him.
Yep, jumps out, starts throwing shit around.
They start throwing shit. And at that point, the guy that I think we can both agree is Samoan comes out of his house with a baseball bat and fucking starts chasing them around. And Joe, for whatever reason, is feeling charitable and says, you guys go ahead. I'll get her clothes. Yeah, he sticks around to defy the odds against this guy, and the guy winds up, of course, swinging the baseball bat and over-swinging Joe ducks, and he falls into the pool. And they run right out of there. They must have been damn close to home.
Yeah.
Because all three of them walk in the door soaking wet. The unhappy chick is sitting on the couch reading a book, and fucking, they're just laughing and laughing, and Lainey says to Joe, "Oh, that was great," and then she walks upstairs, and then Joe follows her, and it didn't work out to his liking. She winds up body slamming him, doesn't she?
Yeah, it does something to him.
Because he starts, "Hey, why don't we go for it?" "Okay, you know." And she's trying like hell to turn him down, and then I think
Then she's like, "Get the fuck off me!"
he touched her somewhere, maybe on the arm or something. "Yeah, get the fuck off me!" Elbows him in the gut, and then fucking flips him. And at that point, he looks up and he sees all of them looking at him. And I don't know what. Oh, what happened after that? I think is where Tack's commiserating with all his friends, and they all agree, "We're going to get that chick."
Yeah, caveman style. They're all gonna
Yep.
come. All of them are coming for her.
Yep. And then at that point, you see Crump and Crump's brother at Dirty Doug's, which is under new management,
Right.
and it's some polka palace.
It's a yeah.
So you hear the
Polka.
angry "Rah!" and the sound of a body hitting the wall, and you see the accordion fall to the floor. And after that, Crump's brother starts screaming at Crump, "Who the fuck told you that?"
So here's something fun for everybody to know.
Oh, what do you got?
The loudest band I've ever heard was at Uncle Herman's polka. Was Uncle Herman's birthday party? It was a polka band.
You kidding me? All those high notes?
Oh my god!
I'll bet it was loud.
the loudest shit I've ever heard. The band I thought was the loudest at one point was Blue Oyster Cult. I saw them at the Surf Ballroom. I was front row.
Really?
And it was loud as fuck.
I gotta think back. I don't know that I can pinpoint one loud band.
And then what I thought was louder than Blue Oyster Cult, where I actually had to physically move, is when you may have been at that show. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was up in Minneapolis at the
Black,
rave.
Black Labeler type. Oh,
No, it was Children of Bodom was supposed to play,
okay.
and they didn't. That dude fell off a car and pulled his sternum.
Oh, right, yes.
Fuck, who was there? Hypocrisy,
Hypocrisy, yeah.
Demon Borgir, and somebody else.
Dimmu, right?
Were you there?
No, but I remember they were very keyboard-oriented
They were very loud.
band, and that's probably why I think the high notes.
I had to move.
Huh. My brother would love that. He's a Dimmu fan. I'm just nothing against them at all. It's just not my thing. Too much, I don't know. Different strokes, you know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, after the accordion player gets beat up, back to the movie, you cue right to Hubs and this fucking inexplicable reason, this stuffed penguin that sounds like it alternately either a child's toy or a dog's toy that squeaks when you hit it.
Wasn't it a puppet?
I thought it was a penguin.
Well, yeah, it was a penguin, but wasn't it a puppet?
I
Because
think
he
you're
was-
thinking of Red Dwarf with Mr. Fibble, that puppet, which my brother-in-law,
Mr. Fibble is very cross.
yes, which my brother-in-law owns.
Mr. Fibble?
Yes, I think he donated $100 to public television one year and got that in return.
I saw a sweatshirt that said Mr. Fibble is very cross.
God, there's a rabbit hole for your Red Dwarf references, but no, he owns it. He owns it. I think there's a picture of me and him and Mr. Fibble somewhere. I got
Of course, Chancey would own.
damn
Mr.
straight he
Fibbles.
would. Of course he would, and that's cool.
And that is cool. That's
But-
how big of nerds we are.
Oh, dude, you kidding me? Fucking Red Dwarf, honestly. Red Dwarf is such a weird, closed, secret, yet massive society of I can't count how many times I've been in any given city or at Renaissance Fest especially. The one patch anybody will see on my jacket, oh, Red Dwarf. And the weird thing, always female.
Huh.
It's always been a female who will point it out, so I don't know.
Well, I have a Doctor Who tattoo.
What?
Yeah,
Do you really?
yeah,
Okay, why? That big a fan?
yeah.
Okay, well, I've got Marie Antoinette on my arm. I've got...
Well, it's like your
Down on
it's
my
like your
arm.
patch, man.
Yes, I got you.
Except for mine's on my skin. It says "Bad Wolf" in Chinese letters,
Okay, all right. No, ain't a damn thing wrong with that.
and that's the same thing. When people realize what they're looking at,
Yep,
they're like, "Oh my god, is that a Doctor Who tattoo?" And it's like, yes.
exactly. Yeah, it's its own thing. It's great. But anyway,
Well, it
so,
fits with Red Dwarf. It's a British show.
oh, you kidding me? They're interchangeable.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
never got into Doctor Who. I don't know why.
I don't either,
But,
because it was always on.
dude, I'm so bored
You know?
with myself anymore entertainment-wise that I may just go down that rabbit hole.
Well, obviously, you used to watch
I watched a lot of
the
Red Dwarf.
the Iowa Public Broadcast.
Yes, because I would come back from band practice fucking half drunk, fully stoned, and out in the country before my parents decided after I moved out conveniently to get satellite or whatever the hell it was, you got 3 channels. Or no,
Yeah.
4. 3, or ABC, NBC, CBS, and public television.
Yeah.
And at 11:30 at night, what better to watch blazed out of your head than a guy with a fucking H emblazoned on his forehead and you don't know why?
Because he's a hologram.
Well, yeah, you'll learn that later. But no, at the time...
Red Dwarf, Red Green, Doctor Who.
Oh, crap, red green. I don't even want to... All right, so anyway, back to Hubs and his
If
fucking...
the women don't find you handsome, at least let them find you handy.
He's not wrong. Not at all. Jesus. But anyway.
Back to Hubs.
Hubs.
Hubs is playing with Mr. Fibbles, the puppet.
Yeah, we'll call Mr. Fibbles the puppet that squeaks every time he pecks Lainey's...
Touches her tits.
Yes, he's pecking the memories.
And
And then he smacks the puppet and says, leave those alone.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, Hubs is...
It works.
It works, but this is the thing that really kind of still makes me pause. The Hubs line following that part where she says, cut it out. She throws the thing and it squeaks, it hits the floor, and he looks at her and says, don't flightless seabirds turn you on? That is not a Hubs character line at all. You talk about how Hanky shouldn't have had the fucking nice car or whatever. Hubs never would have said that.
Right.
Don't flightless seabirds. What the fuck? And finally, that part is mercifully ended when she says not really, and then takes her top off, and they, well, fuck. And Rock Candy is playing again. Ba-na-na-na-na. And one final reference to the fucking penguin, she throws her bottom, I'm assuming at this point, at it, and it squeaks again. What the fuck happens after? Are Joe and that other chick? No. What the fuck? Joe and that other chick are downstairs, and she's pissed off, and he says, oh, come on, you just gotta let him work it out or whatever, and she's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. So she gets up to leave. And at that point, or no, she doesn't get up to leave yet, but at that point, he goes upstairs to try to help tell Hubs to knock it off. And Hubs at that point is laying there. One of my favorite parts of the movie is he leans back, sees Hubs in the doorway, and just gives him the thumbs up, side eye. While Lainey, I assume, is about to proceed going down on him. And he kind of just, Hubs. And then Hubs does the, yeah. And then, Hubs. And at that point, he's pissed. Joe, what the fuck? And Lainey's real pissed. Here's one you probably picked up right away. The song that's playing in the background, I assume on her stereo, Blue Oyster Cult, I'm Burning For You.
Yeah.
81, I think, was when that song came out.
Yeah, like 81 or 83 or something like that.
It was I think 81 or 82, one of those two. But yeah, that even when I watched that movie the first time, I thought, this can't be right. Who fucked this up?
Well, I mean, it's hard to get music for your movies.
Oh, yeah, well, dude.
Especially with no budget. And I've always wondered, it's like, why Blue Oyster Cult? Like, they put a lot of Blue Oyster Cult in there.
I'll tell you why. I think we may have talked about this a few podcasts
we
ago.
may have talked individually.
But this is what I found out.
Because I didn't watch the DVD version of this movie.
Right, okay.
I watched the streaming version.
Yes. Now, here's why. I found this out on Wikipedia, of all pages, but... no, the reason why Blue Oyster Cult is because they went through a few different songs before literally settling on that because they couldn't get the other ones. First, the Pussy song was supposed to be Stairway to Heaven. Couldn't get it. Then it was supposed to be Freebird.
Yeah, well, little did everybody know you wouldn't be able to get any Led Zeppelin song until like 2008 when Cadillac got rock and roll.
Was that 2000? I thought it was prior to that.
Fucking somewhere around there.
But, yeah.
Led Zeppelin did not give their music away to anybody.
Shit, no. But yeah, so they went through Stairway to Heaven, Freebird. I want to say there was another one, but for the life of me, I can't remember. But eventually it wound up being Don't Fear the Reaper because it was like the last one they could get.
Yeah.
And then BOC's in the movie at the very end anyway.
Right, which I didn't know because I don't have the DVD cut.
Oh, you didn't see that scene?
No, it's not on the it's not on the streaming after the credits.
You are so missing out. They're trying to sell their own bootleg t-shirts.
Yeah, I feel like I am missing out.
Dude, you know what? I've got the DVD at home. I think my kid left it out and it's unplayable anymore, but I'll bring it next time. If you can get that thing to fucking play, first of all, you're awesome. And second, watch it. Because then you get to see fucking Buck Dharma and Eric Bloom trying to sell bootleg t-shirts and they get rebuffed. Come on, you guys are ripping off the band and then they correct each other. $4 next time, $4. Fun little Easter egg. But anyway, yeah, so going to the bedroom, I'm Burning For You is playing for some inexplicable reason at that time, and Hubs is honestly trying to comfort him in a weird way. Lainey's pissed off. She covers herself. Oh, your friend's a pervert. Because Joe gets a look at the bare breast and looks. But then Hubs is like, come on, man, you're just a victim of circumstance. And he hands him the crock that, for some reason, he has with him. Hands him the crock of the schnapps, says, here, man, take the edge off. And then Lainey's real pissed. Bye! So he goes to leave, and he sees the brunette walking out the door, and he goes and chases after her. And when he catches up, offers her some schnapps. He's trying like hell with anything to defuse the situation. At one point, I think he put his hand on her arm, and him with the hand on the arm, because she punched him in the gut. Or no, kicked him in the balls.
Yeah, kicked him in the balls.
Yeah, because I don't really need my nards anyway.
Yeah.
And she kind of, in a way, feels sorry for him, so they walk down to the beach and sit on a rock and just talk. Where it goes from there, I'm not entirely sure. They eventually go back up to the house.
Yeah, they go back after they finish the crock of schnapps.
After he finishes the crock.
After he finishes the crock.
And he looks up in the sky and he sees the
eyeball or
the green eyeball in the moon. And then walks back. And I think you're right about the eyeball and what it portends, because it's like, hey, you're having a good conversation. Don't blow it. Just be decent. So they get back to the house.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is she's writing them both off as they're just the dumb drunk guys. Mm-hmm. Where you have subtext, and Joe's like the smart one.
Or he's the deeper one. I don't know. Smart.
Well, yeah,
he's definitely deeper.
He's the deeper one. He has more depth as a character, possibly. And,
right.
And Hubs holds him down.
Right.
Holds him back from his potential, and you kind of get a glimpse of that when they go back to the house, and they talk more.
Yep, and that's where you start other fun little things that start to happen, because first you hear Hubs and Lainey very loudly engaged in intercourse, and only this time Joe doesn't look upset by it, and neither does the brunette. They both look at each other and kind of smirk, like, this is how it is. Whatever, let them have their fun. Whereas before, Joe was obscenely jealous, and the chick was just fucking angry. No, now they're looking at each other like, oh well, they can have fun. And then she says something about, God, I wish we had some dope. And that's when he remembers the Lumbo.
Oh yeah.
/ skankweed. So once again, he's got another can of Ox 45 right at his disposal. Fucking loads the thing up. They both take a couple hits and cough. And that's the most pot you see smoked in the whole movie.
Right.
And
so much of the stoned age, right?
Exactly. But I think your 2001 theory is even better as far as that goes. But yeah, so they smoke in. No, they smoked after he puked.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, she says, and this was the worst line in the movie, I gotta take a dump. Oh, horrible, horrible, horrible line. Didn't care for that at all. It seemed way out of place. But anyway, so she gets up to, I'm naturally going to assume, take a dump. And he's kind of sitting there staring at the ceiling, and then he starts to get nauseous.
Suddenly the room's spinning, and he can't figure out where he's going to wharf.
Yep. Now, this had to have happened. Oh, my God. We've jumped so many parts. They have yet to rob the liquor warehouse. They have yet to show up chanting alcohol. They have yet for her to let him back in the house after he said he wouldn't kick her out of bed. We missed so damn much.
I know.
Yeah, so anyway, he pukes and fucking into a chair, sets it down after banging on the door after she's been in there for 1 minute and her yelling, hold on. Like, dude, you got to know it's going to take longer than a minute.
He should have just puked in the sink.
Well, he couldn't, because you remember when he parted the curtains, he looked up and they were attacking all his friends, throwing beer cans at the window.
Oh, that's right, because they showed up as an angry mob.
And that's what I mean by we missed so much.
Well, wait, so they robbed the liquor store?
Yeah, they broke into it. Because Officer Dean
took their keg.
Yeah, took their keg, and he asked Joe and Hubs about the broken into liquor warehouse, and Joe fucked up by saying, hey, we don't know anything about any stolen Ox 45.
Right.
But yeah, so they eventually fast forward to where Tack rallies the troops and says, yeah, this chick there, she's fine. She looks like the Virgin Killer chick. And they all, angry mob style, go to the liquor warehouse first.
They make Hanky.
Yep.
Hanky
He's got to go through the window.
And unlock the door.
And he even then is pleading with them, get it, Snareg. Don't call me that. Boom, into the warehouse.
Falls.
And then one of the great lines happens when he opens the door from the inside, starts handing him pallets.
Flats of beer.
Hands him, flats. Pallet, jeez. Yeah, flat of beer. Hands him one, and it gets as far as the third person in the line where the guy stops and says, hey, these aren't talls.
Yeah.
And
they pass it back to him.
Come on, Hanky, get us some talls. Right. And then the other guy says, He doesn't get out much, does he? No shit. Yeah. So Hanky grabs the right one, and they all cheer him on. Yeah, and they start fucking passing just like a conveyor belt. I don't even know how many flats of beer they took out of there.
Yeah, a bunch.
A lot. But yeah, they were talls, and that's what we're drinking right now.
Talls.
Corona tall, Coors Light tall, talls. Cheers. But yeah, we used to call these the dad. Any outsized beer, my brother would call the dad.
The dad.
Like, hey, you want to get some 40s? We'll grab a couple of dads. We'll be back. Or grab a 16 ouncer. Grab a dad, all right. We'll take a dad. Yeah, it's funny to
Fuck, man. So remember, I was like, how big is this one?
That's
24.
That's 24, yeah.
24?
Yep.
So the brewery in town serves them in 32 ounce.
The fuck is... Jesus.
It's a huge can.
Yes.
I ordered a few.
I bet you did. I don't think I could get through one.
Oh, man. You probably wouldn't. It was kind of a weird flavor.
EPUB, micro, whatever. I don't care. More power to everybody doing it. I think that's great.
I just wanted something different. I was in a beer drinking mood. I was gonna grill.
Right.
I think it was around Father's Day.
Dude, I have a 12-pack of Tecate Light in my fridge because I wanted something different.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It was a marshmallow wheat beer.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was like, let's see what this is like.
Right.
Very, very faint hint of marshmallow flavor. I would not recommend. But it came in a big old 32-ounce can.
I think that was the appeal for you.
Yeah. So anyway, there were an angry mob at this chick's house.
Right.
And then is this where Joe and Tack getting that fist fight?
Yes, because they show up and that's where you get Jill, is that her name?
Jill, I think it is Jill.
We're gonna call her Jill because I've been calling her that other chick for how long, but no, that's where Jill and Joe walk up from the beach in the middle.
Jill and Joe.
Yes, in the middle of this angry mob that has shown up chanting alcohol, alcohol on a quiet suburban street. All of them underage, having just robbed a liquor store, and they're chanting alcohol for everyone to hear. So they all show up, and at that point, fucking Jill and Joe kind of plow their way through the crowd to get to the front door, which they haven't even thought to break open like a mob would. But the first thing that they're trying to talk to him, and fucking Tack is the total asshole saying, dude, you can have the oinker. Fucking, we want the hot chick. And Jill says, what are you guys all gonna take a number? And they, yeah! So they were thinking gangbang, all right. But yeah, and Joe, you see Joe trying to be a good guy. He's like, hey man, dude, don't be such an asshole. She's pretty fine. And fucking Tack, for whatever reason, makes the observation that she's got a fucking fat ass. Did you find her ass overtly large? Because I didn't. I thought it was great.
No.
Yeah, neither did I. She's a fucking fat ass. So what does Joe say? He wouldn't kick her out of bed. And apparently that was the most offensive thing he could have said about this poor girl, because she looks at him like he's cancer and storms into the house and leaves him to be fucking attacked.
Her name is Jill in the movie.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, fucking so.
And it is Grace Slick's daughter.
That's right. I didn't know. Yep. But yeah, so Tax starts getting ready to beat on Joe, and they all join in throwing beer cans and shit at him. I hate worms. And at that point, Jill must have felt pretty sorry for him, because she yells, come on, Joe, get in, and opens the door for him. He runs in, and at that point, a can of Box 45 hits him right in the back of the head. Full can, mind you. And she shuts the door, and then that's where those two start getting to know each other. Because he opens up and she kind of looks at him just exhausted. I guess you can stay here until they leave. And he just says, cool. Opens this foamed up can of beer, blows it off onto her carpet, and then starts drinking it. And she advises him, I wouldn't mix that with that Schnapster. And he goes, I can handle it. And that's why he throws up.
Yeah.
Because at that point, she lets him know, I got to take a dump. And he's sitting there, can't go anywhere. All these idiots are outside, and then he's got a puke. So he searches for any available place he possibly can and decides, well, lift up the cushion of the armchair, bleh, put the cushion back down, and leave it at that. And then he passes out.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when he has the big series. No, the big series of visions happens a little bit later. But no, he passes out and then wakes up, and they're listening to Don't Fear the Reaper. Because she put it on.
Right.
And he says, I dig this song. And they start talking about that and everything else. And at that point, they're really about ready to get to know each other. And then you hear Hubs. Joe! He's upstairs. Joe, get up here. And Joe's like, what? He's about ready to make his move. Nope, Hubs brings him up there and says that Laney felt sorry for him because first Hubs tried saying it was his birthday, and then he says, well, he's all fucked up because his dad beats him up all the time, so she's going to give you a blowjob. And even Joe's like, she wet for that?
Yeah.
So he goes in there, and there she is laying naked on the bed, and he has the big 2001 Space Odyssey vision, and then snaps out of that, and then looks at her and feels bad for her, covers her up, and then goes to go downstairs, and there's Hubs making out with his chick. And he just fucking throws his hands in the air and goes, Hubs! And Hubs, like, right in front of this chick says, hey, you're not going to say anything to any of the guys, are you? It's like, what the fuck? And this woman's not even insulted by it. And then at that point, Crump's brother shows up.
Oh, that's right.
The loud banging on the door. And all he can scream is, let me at my chicks.
And he's like physically punching and kicking holes in this
Yes,
floor.
he fucking demolishes the door. And fucking
they get the
fireplace
the
poker.
fireplace
Hit
poker.
him in the hand. Now you pissed me off. And fucking about ready to unlock the door. And at that point, they're hiding in the kitchen. And fucking Hubs lights up a cigarette. And he's like, they're just kind of accepting their fate.
Yep, we're going to have to get our asses kicked.
And then Hubs says, she was worth it, right? And Joe just kind of, yeah. You didn't go for it. I should kick your ass myself. And at that point, Jill looks at Joe like, huh? You didn't go for it? That's where you see it starting to change again.
Uh-huh.
And then the noise stops. It gets real quiet. And they look out the window. Some old dude's kicking all their asses. Jill's dad.
Jill's dad.
Kicks the shit out of everybody. All of them.
Yep.
And he's just this average middle-aged guy wearing a college sweater. Then he walks in.
See, it's that college sweater.
It's got to be.
He was probably in lacrosse or something.
An athlete at least. But yeah, so he kicks the shit out of everyone, and they're all just laying there. And they never do leave until they get arrested at the very end. At which point, the dad walks in and he starts yelling at Jill while Hubs bolts upstairs and jumps out a second-story window to escape.
Yeah. Like the back door by the kitchen wasn't good enough.
No. Ran upstairs and jumped out a fucking second-story window, which leaving Joe behind. So Joe and Jill are getting their asses chewed, and the father's already displaying how creepy it is. Why do you have to hang out with trash like this? And then Laney comes down. Laney, you could have it all. Which is just gross. And then you get into the part of the movie where Joe has his big speech or whatever the fuck. And then
Yeah, he's like, why are you giving her such a hard time all the time, man?
And then at that point, as the dad's about to kick his ass, after sitting in the vomited chair, mind you, and
Right.
drinking whiskey with 2 piss ice cubes
in it.
And they froze fast.
They did.
Well, they were little though too. But anyway, so at that point, you hear this loud "Arg!" and seeing a fucking yard umbrella go through the glass. Which that's how Joe decides to bust his friend out, smashes the window in, and yells, Joe, come on, hurry up. At which point, then they inexplicably run out the front door where everyone's laying there after having gotten their ass kicked. And Tack is still holding a fucking tall of Ox 45.
Yeah.
And tells Hubs to fuck off, and Hubs kicks the thing out of his hand. They go running. A lot of pauses in this. The first time they run into Frankie Avalon. They're running down the street, ready to get
to get to the car, yeah.
Yeah, and along comes this convertible. Excuse me, guys, could you tell me where the turns up his sunglasses? Frankie Avalon place is? And Joe points, says, well, look for the flashing lights, you won't miss it. Oh, great. I hear there's a shitload of fine chicks there. And then Frankie Avalon drives away. So then after that, they bust out. You see the cops starting to arrest the mob fucking finally.
They get to the car, right?
Well, they don't even get to the car yet. They go around the house, and there's Jill waiting for Joe. Hubs runs off, and Jill stops Joe, and Jill asks Joe, why didn't you go for it? And he says, I was working up to it. And then she says, you snooze, you lose, and then they make out. And you hear Rock Candy for the last time play. Da-na-na. And then they cue him grabbing her ass with and then Hubs comes back around and drags us. Come on, let's go. After she gives him her last name, Wajakawakawitz. It's in the book.
It's in the book.
So they finally get to the car, and Hubs is in his post-coital glory. Leather jacket, no shirt underneath.
Right. Lights up a smoke.
And Joe's driving this time.
Right.
And he says, man, what a great night. I got drunk and laid by a rad chick. And then Joe's, how do you spell Wajakawakawitz? And at that point, Hubs is going into his typical asshole thing, but not before you flash to the officer giving his final admonition of those teenagers on a bullhorn, sitting on top of his police cruiser. You boys probably think I'm a real butthead, don't you? Don't you think I wanted to sneak into some girl's house when I was your age? Hell.
They used to call me
Doggy Door Dean. I was a good second floor man, too. Yep. Old Dean.
Doggy Door Dean.
On the bullhorn. Hell.
So then, before they started driving home, the Buffalo Chicks popped back up.
Fucker, I about to spit up my beer. I about to spit up my tall, man.
Oh, my talls.
I forgot about that. Yes, all these different obstructions to the car.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Chicks only this time.
There were two of them.
There are two of them.
And there's
and Joe observes that.
Yeah, he's like, why are there only two of you?
I thought there was three of you. Well, we had to send Bobby Ball home. She was messing up the ratio.
Yeah.
And
You know how it is.
Yeah, you know how it is. She was messing up the ratio. And the worst part is I found probably the most passable of any of them was the one that got sent home. That's all I remember. I couldn't tell you what she looked like or wore or her hair color, but I think in my mind she was most presentable, and that's why they sent her home. But anyway, so yes, you're right. All these obstructions just to get to the damn car
and to drive back home wherever the fuck they were.
Which magically the police, who knew the car, didn't do anything about.
Right, just let them drive right past.
Yes, this old ass Volkswagen with a green eyeball and a BOC cross on it. No, but anyway, so yeah, they get in the car. Hubs is in his glory, and Joe's trying to figure out how to spell Wajakawakawitz, and then Hubs becomes the big dickhead that he is. What, you gonna fucking call her? And he just lays into him, and Joe at that point, I forget what he says, and Joe punches him.
Yeah, he put him in a headlock.
Not at that point. He just punches him this time. And at that point, Hubs says, What do you want to get your ass kicked over some fat ass chick? Glad you didn't pork her, thank God. And then fucking, no, that's the whole point. They're up north. You don't have to deal with them. And then Joe, at that point, he's fucking had enough. And he grabs Hubs in a headlock while he's driving, swerving all over. She's cool, man. Say it. Not it's a pussy song, but she's cool, man. Say it. And you hear the boom, 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 boom. Come on, man. Come on, say it. Fine, she's cool. And then Joe finally gets the best end of any of it. Finds his tape, puts it in. Do. Don't fear the Reaper. And Hubs just gives him this almost annoyed / hurt look, like, and doesn't say anything.
And then he sees
the eyeball for the last time, and at that point he smiles because he knows.
But we glazed over his last vision, and it was like
we totally glazed it. I tell you what, I gotta relieve myself. Go ahead and tell the good people, or we can pause.
Yeah. So his little vision that he had was definitely 2001: Space Odyssey.
Of course, they used the same original score. And
yeah,
all
they
that.
used the music. And it was the.
Now I've never seen that movie, so enlighten me as to what I was watching in the Stone Age.
So it was from birth to death, right?
Okay.
Because it showed him as a baby.
Well, wouldn't it be death to birth?
Oh, whichever way.
They reversed the order because they had him as an old man sitting at a park picnic table or something with a bottle of Ox 45.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, they did it that way.
Spills over, and then you go to the next scene, which is him on, I assume, his deathbed.
Right.
In the middle of a football field.
And I don't understand the football field part.
But then the music comes on.
Well, his IV is an Ox 45 also.
Oh, right! Jeez.
So whatever. Then he dies.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Then he dies or whatever, and then he's reborn.
Yeah. You see the green eyeball come slowly into view, and then you see him in a bubble wearing a baby bonnet.
Yep.
Drinking a baby bottle of what?
Ox 45.
Damn straight.
So I guess what the theme would be is he's tethered to his Ox 45.
I think hope so. I would hope that's
they're trying to say. I think they're trying to say, Joe, there's more out there for you than just drinking talls with your buddies.
Yes, because it's immediately after that vision that he looks down at Laney's naked form and covers her up.
Right.
And just leaves the room.
Right. does the first decent thing. He's pretty well. He seems like a pretty decent guy.
Yeah, he had a conscience throughout the whole movie.
Right.
He was just overpowered by Hubs.
Right, just following his shitheel friend.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, he had the vision, and then that's when he decides, no, I'm not going to get a fucking blowjob from this chick who's been lied to, so she'll suck my dick.
Right.
Which, good on him.
Right.
Good on him. And then comes down and he finds out his best efforts were all for naught anyway, because the chick he was hitting on is making out with his friend who just banged the chick that was supposed to blow him.
Right.
Like, poor Joe. You feel bad
Kick
for
him when he's down.
Oh, yeah. That's all that it is out of Joe, is just being kicked when he's down. In fact, fun fact about Joe. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead? Wasn't he one of the friends?
He might have been. But
I'm almost positive it was him.
But I know for sure he was in People Under the Stairs.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was one of the people under the stairs.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so he'd have been in that. I'm almost.
Also, fun fact, he wrote this movie.
It was him. You're right.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a very Quentin Tarantino style thing to do. Give yourself the character who's pathetic or whatever the hell, or obnoxious or something like that.
Yeah, weak or whatever.
Yeah, don't make yourself the hero.
Right.
But
which I think that would explain some of the dialogue that Hubs had.
Oh, well, the small flightless birds and all that.
Yeah,
bullshit.
because I wonder if it wasn't switched at one point in the script.
I think you might be right, because they forgot what character works. But no, that actor too. I'm almost positive he was one of the stoner friends of the main kid in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
That I'm gonna look that up here.
Please look it up, because I swear it was him. But I also think I saw him in a fucking porn once. Seriously, I don't even remember who the female was in whatever scene I was watching or why. Not that I've ever watched anything like that. But no, the male counterpart to it, I'm pretty fucking sure it looked just like fucking Joe. Or the guy who played Joe. The same red hair, same face, all of it. And if I'm not mistaken, probably a decent performance too. Except I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I'm actually watching Joe plow some fucking porn starlet. And it probably wasn't him anyway. It was just a fun little thing to throw out there. That if we were any bigger, we'd be getting hit
good
with
eye.
libel.
You're right.
It was him.
It was him.
All right. Excellent. Yeah. I knew me a movie fact.
Yeah, awesome.
Right on. Okay, so yeah. So thus ends the movie, and the end credits show, much as the beginning ones did, they're driving around, only this time it's Don't Fear the Reaper, and you see the cops alternately throwing their cherries on, pulling people over, or passing around the Twinkies and the chocolate milk. And then Joe and Hubs, I think, at one point, in the beginning, and Joe tried to light Hubs a cigarette and somehow fucked that up, so Joe hit him. I don't know. But then, yes, they play the fucking Don't Fear the Reaper, the credits roll, screen goes black, the credits roll, and in the very end, the part that unfortunately you didn't see was Hubs and Joe coming out of the stop-and-go convenience store, not the hot dog stand. And there's these two older guys in the parking lot, long-haired, they look like they're in a rock band, because they in fact are. They walk up to them and try to sell them Blue Oyster Cult tour t-shirts. And the one line the guy with the afro has is, Zilla. Well, wait a minute. No, are these the real thing? No, these are real tour t-shirts. You guys are ripping off the band. Come on. You're ripping off the band. And then they walk away, and then the two BOC members commiserate amongst themselves. $4 next time. $4. All right. Yeah, bootlegging themselves. Ha, ha, ha.
That's good.
Yeah, I thought so.
So anyway, Joe, the guy that plays Joe, was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Right.
He was in Point Break.
Okay.
People Under the Stairs.
All right.
The Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, not the TV show.
Oh, yes, I remember. I watched that movie once, and the show was great. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I dig the show.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, The Stoned Age, that came out in 94.
Okay, all right.
So that would have been just slightly before
Right.
Dazed and Confused.
Yep. Which, you almost wonder if the people from Dazed and Confused didn't watch that and go, okay, here's what we're not going to screw up. Which, I don't know, though. In all honesty, though, I've probably seen The Stoned Age as much as I've seen Dazed and Confused. I never get sick of The Stoned Age, because I think it's almost aware of how unintentionally fucking funny it is. And it's not funny for the reasons it's supposed to be. It's funny because the continuity errors are awful. It's funny because the lame jokes are fucking so lame that they're funny, and so much callback humor. Go on.
So I didn't catch this, but I guess at the end of the film it says,
no chicks were harmed in the making of this motion picture.
Yeah.
That was right at the beginning of the credits.
Oh man, I must have missed it.
Yep. Oh, it's a blink and you miss it. But yeah, no chicks were harmed in the making of this fucking movie. Oh
Yeah, it's a pretty goofy movie.
It is, and that's why I love it, because it does not in any way take itself too seriously. Like, even Dazed and Confused, there's a whole underlying message of, well, yeah, I'm going to play football, but I'm not going to sign this, I'm going to hold on to my principles and blah, blah, blah. Whereas the Stone Age was just so over-the-top fucking hilarious that if there was the point of there's more to life than getting drunk, stoned, and laid, they made getting to that point so fucking hilarious that you forgot that was the point that they were making. And they didn't even really make that point anyway. Hubs was happy. Joe had a moment of self-actualization and got a chick. He was happy. Everybody but the poor attack.
It's the whole 2001 Space Odyssey correlation is just so bizarre and off the wall.
And it is primarily, well, for you, for two different reasons. Number one, it's off the wall for you because you've seen 2001. For me, it's off the wall.
At least once I've seen it.
Right. For me, it's off the wall because I've never seen it. But I know the music and I know the references. But I still didn't know that the deathbed and the fucking all that and the rebirth were from that. I just knew the fucking music. Bah, bah, bah. And that, from what I understand, it's a very fucking strange movie, and I don't know if I really want to sit through it.
It's long, and I think there's something about it's one of the only movies where there's no dialogue for like 30 or 45 minutes.
What?
Yeah. Because like I told you, the movie's like a from birth to death kind of a sequence. Like you start with Earth, and it shows early life being monkeys learning how to use tools.
Really?
And yeah.
Okay, I might have to watch this. It sounds kind of fascinating.
It is, but it's real long.
Right, and that would
and
be.
It's Stanley Kubrick, so you got to think and shit.
Right, and that's I still think Stanley Kubrick's greatest strength was lighting, the stark white lights that he uses.
Yeah.
Or the creepy synthesizer music.
Yeah. So here's the thing about lighting, for a fun fact.
Sure.
In The Shining,
right.
The scene where they open the elevator and the blood comes out.
Yeah.
They shot that like 70 times because they couldn't get the lighting right.
Right, yeah. And Kubrick, oh God, he was a bastard of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
When you watch Shelley Duvall in that movie, he's just torn her the fuck apart off camera. God, what was it? The one scene he made her shoot, I think 141 times or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I think she might have had to go to therapy after it was over. I mean, it was like he just fucked her up good. But you watch that movie and, well, I don't know, was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it to me. I'm not in therapy. Not for that. But, all right, so yeah, fucking Stanley Kubrick.
The Stone Age. Anyway, yeah, I watched it like twice in a row.
You did, goddamn. Of course you did.
It's not unwatchable.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I guess to me, there's certain. Everybody has fallback forms of entertainment. Like some people have fallback albums, that.
Yeah.
Well, if they're at a loss, I'll throw on this, or fallback TV shows if they're flipping through the channels. Like, well, this is on, I can watch this. For me, the Stone Age is kind of like that. Like if I'm at home and I'm going through the DVDs or whatever, I can't think of anything to watch. If somebody were to say, "Hey, how about the Stone Age?" I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Right.
There's literally never a time I can't watch that. That's where I call that a fallback movie, kind of like National Lampoon's Vacation or whatever. Movies like that, and everybody I think has them. That's one of them for me, because once again, just the gags are so dumb they're hilarious, and it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Right. It's a good. You don't have to. You can be invested and not be invested.
Right. You can flip it on at any given point, and all right, it looks like Officer Dean's getting them for the second time. Fuck it, I'll finish this out.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I liked it.
All right, well, that about wrap this up then?
Yeah. Did you listen to anything new?
No.
Listen to anything old?
Fucking love that question. I guess the only new old finds I had were, well, I'll do a plug for a local business, if you will. Vinyl Cup Records in West Des Moines. Went there for the first time, I think it was last weekend, just to do some vinyl shopping, and tell you what, this guy, I believe his name is Luke Dickens, he's got a hell of a stockpile of good shit in there. To where when I walked in, and it's not laid out like a store so much, it's basically laid out like almost, I don't want to say a warehouse, because it's not that big, but there's bins, it's alphabetical, and that's it. There's no frills to this store. But you will spend an insane amount of time just going through all the vinyl, because there's so much of it. But I managed to finally get a copy of UFO Obsession on vinyl, which amazingly enough I didn't have. And then and laugh or not, a copy of the Marshall Tucker Band Searching for a Rainbow album, which I love a couple of those Marshall Tucker songs, and quite frankly, the album cover itself is just 70s cool. Some cowboy riding his horse in space or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It just looked cool to me. So, and that was a gimme. The guy hadn't priced it yet, and I asked, well, what do you want for this? And he said, well, I haven't priced it yet. And I kind of looked at him and he goes, you can take it. I think he knew it wasn't worth a fucking thing, to be honest. But, yeah, so I wound up getting those. Everyone kind of got some vinyl there. But I tell you the one thing about this guy, don't go in there asking if he has anything.
Do you have the new Greta Van Fleet?
I don't think I even got the band I was looking for out of my mouth. So do you got a look around? All right. You know what? That's actually a pretty brilliant sales tip because it's like, okay, no, I'm not going to point you at what you're dead set on getting. You're going to go through everything and potentially find other things you want.
Right.
Pepper Records, West Des Moines.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Luke.
I'll have to give that a shot because the 2 record stores I tried to go to this week were a bust.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, there's been one in town here, the Military Pawn Surplus place.
Oh, I haven't been in there in years.
Nor have I, because every time I've gone over there recently, they've been closed. Like, really arbitrary hours that I, for the life of me, don't know why. But they, oddly enough, when they are open, they got some pretty cool vinyl hidden in there.
Yeah. Well, so to answer my own question, did I listen to anything new? I did. I listened to the new Gojira.
Oh, okay. I've heard good things.
And it's good. It sounds like Gojira. You can't go wrong.
Okay.
So, and then, so I managed to I picked up a couple of new vinyls.
Oh, yeah, what'd you get?
So I got Sgt. Pepper's.
Okay, all right.
I found that in Kohl's, of all places.
Yeah, a lot of those reissues. I mean, fucking Target, I found a vinyl of Jimi Hendrix Live at Winterland.
Yeah.
Only fucking problem is it's not the original track list. I left it. I wanted their instrumental Sunshine of Your Love or Manic Depression. Neither one of those are on there.
That's strange.
And you can't get the CD even anymore. It's been out of print for 20-some years. It just sucks.
Yeah, so I got Sgt. Pepper's, and then I'm on that Gimme Metal vinyl club.
Oh, right. What came in this time?
I'm on a Marth.
I'm on a Marth. All right.
So, pretty extremes there, huh? And then, because I like guitar pedals, and I was watching this video on this guy that had one of the largest Electro Harmonix guitar pedal collections as far as vintage ones go.
Ah, okay.
Real nerdy stuff. But anyway, I'm going to spare you guys that part and tell you that this guy does art, digital art.
Oh, okay.
And he had a vinyl record also. And this is where it gets good, is that I'm not sure. I think I told you about this, but not everybody is aware that Scruff McGruff.
No, you did tell me personally. You didn't tell the audience, if you will. Lay this on.
Scruff McGruff, the crime dog, like in the 80s.
Yes. Oh, yeah, take a bite out of crime.
Yeah, take a bite out of crime. That Scruff McGruff.
Wore the fucking tan trench coat and all
right,
that.
had an album of like, I don't know if it's like 5 or 6 songs.
What
like a legitimate album telling kids, don't do drugs.
Were these songs rapped or?
No, kind of. I
think I remember a Scruff McGruff rap.
It was kind of like rappy or sort of like
all right,
boppy pop kind of stuff for the time.
Gotcha.
And the titles were stuff like "Make Your Body Last," I'm glad I'm me.
Make Your Body Last. I'm glad. What the fuck?
Marijuana, don't try it. Alcohol, don't be a dope.
Wait, shouldn't those two be reversed? Shouldn't it be marijuana, don't be a dope, alcohol, don't try it?
Yeah, inhalants, don't do them.
No,
they got
shit.
They got a song called "Crack and Cocaine."
Woo!
Yeah, so those
I can't believe nobody's covered these in some ironic joke.
So here's where that comes in.
Okay, so I called it, all right.
So this guy that has this pedal collection.
Oh, back to the pedal guy. Okay.
That also does the digital art. Did a cover version of this record in the form of New York City hardcore.
Fuck out of here. What's it called?
It's called Crime Dog.
No, you showed me the fucking album cover. I'm pretty sure because it had what looked like a hard.
Right, because it's X with the Crime X. Dog X.
Yes,
just like the hardcore
Jesus.
New York City hardcore. So if you want to talk about having an obscure album that there's only 200 of, this guy has it.
I think that beats my copy of White Witch that I bought last month. Yeah, White Witch. And why would I buy White Witch? For one thing, it was $5. For another, it was an old 70s album, and the cover had these 5 band members with what looked to be like variations of face paint and shit. Numbers painted onto their faces and all this different archaic symbols. But what got me about it was, no, here's your music nerd trivia nonsense. I looked at the label that they were on. It was Capricorn Records.
Okay.
Now, Capricorn Records in the 70s was the Southern label. That was your Marshall Tucker and all those types of bands. And then this band, this occult-leaning band on a Southern rock label. I had to buy it. There was no way I couldn't buy it. So I wound up Wikipediaing them and looking into that. Yeah, they didn't last long because a lot of times they would tour with the Capricorn artists and the crowds wouldn't know what the fuck to do with them. Now, I played the album like fucking once, but my kid couldn't even be around. It was so annoying. I had to take them like an hour to myself. And God, what was the first song? Help Me, Lord, I think.
Oh, I just Googled it, and I think I've seen this before.
I sent you a picture of it.
Did you?
Yes, I did, because your reply was typical Chad. Oh, okay. Sure, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
I had to buy it though, just because that weird occult band on a Southern rock label.
It does. They look like the Doors.
Yes, it's psychedelic leaning for sure.
This photo looks like they're like the Doors.
Yeah, with makeup.
With makeup, like yeah.
Isn't one of them wearing blue eyeshadow?
Some kind of fucking makeup.
Right, they symbols put on their fucking faces and all this. Like, oh, it was too weird to not buy. I had to buy it. Yeah, in fact, it was "Help Me, Lord, Help Me, Lord, Help Me, Lord, Help Me, Lord." I always screamed.
Huh. Yeah. I can listen to it streaming on Amazon. I might have to do that.
Why would you?
Why wouldn't I?
Why wouldn't you indeed? Because that's an hour of your life you ain't going to get back.
I've had plenty of those taken from me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Usually in the form of Yes, Tales from Topographic Oceans or The Apple, for instance.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that one guy that I work with who's not a kid, he's 31. Jeremiah! Okay, he will not watch The Apple. I couldn't convince him to do it.
Did he listen to our episode?
Yeah,
he talked about it?
Yeah, he heard me talking about it. He's listened to all of them, which is great. Hi, Jeremiah. Keep the tunes coming. Pentagram, Monday. Do it. Or Tuesday, rather. Not be at work Monday. That said, I played him the song Speed. Because I was always talking about the movie.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, it's the weirdest fucking movie. You gotta watch this song. He watches it. First thing he does is he hits the thumbs down icon on his fucking YouTube account. I'm like, what? Thumbs down? He's like, what the hell is this? I'm like, it's the greatest song ever, dude. You're gonna have it stuck in your head. I said, you have to watch the movie. I'm not watching the fucking movie. It's not happening. Come on. No.
Well, then, if you're not watching The Apple, you're watching Holy Mountain.
Fair enough. But yeah, he would not watch it. But sure enough, I'm pretty sure it was the next day at work he came to me and yelled Speed. He said, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's fucking stuck, isn't it? Yeah, you fucker. I'm like, huh? Watch the movie. I'm not watching it. He won't do it. And I don't blame him. Because it's just that bad.
Was fucking weird. If anyone else has any fucking weird suggestions, we'll take them and possibly watch them and listen to them.
We're not in quarantine anymore, Chad. There's no excuse for it. That's the problem. We were all locked in the house and bored of ourselves. Fuck it, we'll watch The Apple. Yeah. Fucking year later, I'm still yelling Speed at the top of my lungs.
Fuck.
Oh, so on that happy note, any other thoughts, observations, ramblings, rants, raves?
No, not really. I was sorting through my vinyl record collection.
Right.
And I came across a Greg Allman record.
Which one was it? Laid Back?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The 70s one before he was No Angel.
Yeah. Okay. So you're probably real familiar with the cover art.
Oh, wait. It looks like a stained glass mosaic.
No, you open it up and it's like him and this chick, and they're riding horses.
Huh?
They're like on horses.
Are they clothed?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
Well, he might have his jacket on with no shirt on underneath it.
Which was the style
but they're on horses, and if you look closely, he's holding a can of Pabst.
That doesn't shock me at all. I've never seen that, but I've got to find it now.
Yeah, it is Laid Back. I believe it is Laid Back.
Yep.
I opened that up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that would be Laid Back. That, as far as I know, was his first solo album. That, I think, was 73. Now you start getting to Greg Allman's solo. He's had some funny shit happen. Like, let's see, 75, I think, was when he was married to Cher.
Yeah.
And he put out the album Allman and Woman. Yeah, not Cher, Allman and Woman. And then fucking in the 80s, he had the song and that album I'm No Angel. Remember that song at all?
Vaguely.
Oh, God. I don't even want to tell you to listen to it because with all due respect to the greatness of Greg Allman, may he rest in peace, and he was fucking great. That song is somehow, whoever wrote it, sat in a bar for like a night, wrote down every shitty pickup line that was used, and put them in a song with even the cheesiest music, like this weird ding, 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 and the fucking rim shot on the drums.
Yeah.
And Greg Allman's...
There's a photo of him on horses.
Oh, God. And he's pointing, goddamn.
It's pointing, yeah.
I don't know who the broad is.
I don't know either.
That is the most perfect picture ever. Fucking full-on denim jacket and jeans, and no, he's wearing a shirt. It's a white one.
Is he?
It's a long sleeve,
yeah.
But yeah, fucking hitting the paps.
He's just riding a horse, holding the pass. I'm laid back.
That is so great. Oh God, that's even better than I'm No Angel. Although I'm No Angel is bad for the, like I said, it's seriously lyrically, it's every awful pickup line that even in the '80s wouldn't have worked. Well, I'm no angel. I'm no stranger to the streets. Let me rock your cradle.
Oh Jesus, that's Greg Allman. I thought that
Yes!
was like fucking Bob Seger. Or
No,
something.
that's Greg Allman. But the greatest line in the whole fucking song is, "Come let me show you my tattoo." With no other context surrounding it. Lyrically, it's just, "Come on, baby. Come let me show you my tattoo. Let me drive you crazy. Come on, love me, baby.
All right.
Let me show you my tattoo." Jesus Christ. He didn't write it, so there's a pass there, but what the fuck? And Cher covered it, I think, after he died.
Oh man.
Can you imagine that? I mean, it'll probably sound as disrespectful to Cher as it's going to come out, but you ever know she sounds kind of like a dying cow when she really hits a strong note? You know, like that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I mean, she's got a strong voice. She's a good singer, you know, hell of a chick, but I just think dying cow when I hear her, and there's just no way this is sonically appealing to me at all. But yeah, she covered I'm No Angel. I may have to look that up. I think I've got to hear it once.
Oh man. Here's the tangent that we were talking about. So, all
It's
right.
your fault.
I know it's my fault. We better wrap this up.
All right. So, on that happy note, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Hey, as a nation, we made it. And we're going to fucking get better. So,
Score yourself some lumbo. This is Chadwick Von Tippitt
and Joshua 40 the hard way Lee Johnson.
with one more.
Last time, hasta.